And what better than owl to talk about wisdom? So the owl talks about the wisdom. The owl is also the goddess, is also the vehicle of goddess Lakshmi. The S below the head of the owl talks about sapient, about service, about the various, the S curve that a business grows with, and the dash below talks about stability. So that is our new logo, and we wanted to share that with you and explain to you what the owl stands for. The owl is a nocturnal animal, so it tends to look after things when most of us are sleeping. And we at Sapient strive to ensure that we look at your portfolios more carefully while all of you are at ease. The important thing in this particular slide is that there is a color green, and green stands for prosperity, so that was another reason why that was chosen. All I would like to say at this stage is, picture abhi bhi baki hai. We intend growing and we will continue to grow. And with your support, I think we will take this to a much bigger height. So thank you once again for having come here in such large numbers and spending this evening with us. With those few words, I'd request Sucheta to come and introduce our guest, Mr. D.P. Singh.
Thank you so much, Janak sir, for setting the tone for the evening. I would now like to introduce our esteemed guest for the evening, Mr. D.P. Singh, Deputy MD and Joint CEO, SBI Mutual Fund, who brings over 3 decades of expertise in banking and financial services. Instrumental in growth and expansion, he brings wealth of experience, ensuring excellence across AUM, market share, and profits. As a mutual fund industry veteran, he has spent 25 years with SBI Mutual Fund and held many senior leadership roles and led the company's consistent growth in several parameters, including AUM, market share, and profits, while being instrumental in expanding the fund house reach in both urban and rural areas. Before joining SBI Mutual Fund, he was associated with State Bank of India, where he handled various assignments in banking, retail banking, corporate credit, and information technology initiatives. May I request Mr. D.P. Singh to grace the stage and share his insights on emerging.
Thank you so much, and dear Mr. Janak Shah, my dear friend Pallav, Amit, and the other members of Sapient family. Thank you so much for having me in this function and introducing me such an august gathering, and very, very very intelligent people who are there. I have hardly to add much to your knowledge, but I will only tell you, as the lovely lady told me, that I have spent 25 years. I will talk a little about my journey, as well as not to tell you about the story, but how the things are changing. And things are changing so fast in our country, and so many investment opportunities are coming up. So that's something which we'll be talking about. And I'm aware of the fact that all of you are very evolved, esteemed investors of Sapient. That is the wisdom group he's talking about. And this is a layer which we have created. We owe it to the Indians that whatever profits are coming from the corporate India, that is being given to Indians first, foreigners later. Because till now what had been happening in our country, the creamy layer has always been gotten by the foreign investors, and Indian investors were missing out of it. And we are very happy, very proud to be part of this journey, because today when I'm standing in front of you, when Janak was talking about 2009, the whole industry was around 6-7 lakh crores. And today the mutual fund industry is more than 54 lakh crores. That is 9 times in this 14-15 years. And this is the journey and this growth. I was just thinking when Mr. Janak was saying that we will keep on growing. So it's not that we are trying to grow because country is forcing us to grow. Because if we talk about the journey of the last 2 years, we have not grown, the country has grown and we have got benefited out of that. Today, if I talk about last 2023, our AUM, assets under management from customers, was around 7,20,000 crore. And today when I'm standing in front of you, we are 950,000 crore. And out of this 2,30,000 crore growth which has come, only 60,000 crore has come through the net flows from the industry. 1,60,000 growth, which all of you are a partner of, has come by the market growth. So, Mr. Janak, rest assured, our growth will be much, much faster. Even if you also sleep like your investors, the money will keep on growing and your income will keep on growing, but we don't want to sleep, right? That's something, but this is the country, this is the Amrut Kal for all of us, which we need to exploit at the maximum. We need not be here just to increase our wealth only by market growth, because that is given that the kind of growth which is going to come in next decades is going to be unprecedented in our history. It's going to be a great year. People are talking about uncertainties, but the kind of certainties which are there in India today is nowhere to be seen. So that is something which we need to be proud of, and we are very, very fortunate to be at the right place at right time and in such an era. So that is going to be. So though I have a presentation, but I will not much talk about these because I was asked to, because these are some of the things which we are talking about. How the landscape is changing, how, when this case study which I'm talking about is of Japanese housewives, how they grew their wealth and how they outperformed the whole country by just using their money in right kind of assets. There is a lot of passive funds being talked about. Efficient tax planning, because I think tax planning is our right. And how to make it tax efficient, efficient planning, that is the role which Sapient and other players are doing to take your money to a level so that you pay the least tax. While paying the tax is very important, but tax planning is definitely something which we can do, and government is giving a lot of benefits if you are coming through this thing. Welcome, Swarup. Yeah. So decade of economic growth, actually it should have been decades of economic growth. It is decade of economic growth written here. The reward for illiquidity, this is something which is there. Today, what has happened in our industry, whenever we are selling some assets to you, telling you, the one rate which all of us give you, you put in money in equities and you can withdraw anytime. But I think that's a wrong statement to give. We should be giving a statement. On one side, we say that if you're putting money in equities or mutual funds, you should be there for minimum 3 to 5 years. On the other side, say you can withdraw anytime. So that is not something, even if we are providing you liquidity just to track the money, but one should not be doing, looking at this as a liquid, as a bank deposit. It has to be given its time to grow. So Gift City as a big opportunity. I think my friend Swarup Mohanti, he is a much more authority than me, then he will talk about Gift City, and he has been part of that journey, so he will be talking about it. So that's what I will be. But I assure you, I'm not in a habit of reading too much on this thing, but my experience, I will speak to you, whatever. So what today we see is a journal, you must be seeing that time terms that don't exist a new decades back, but that is there, the social media, the Aadhaar card, the kind of things we have done, the lingo, when the DIY, all these are the lingos of today. And whatever is out is out. Here I will just tell you one story. When recently we came out with one fund, Energy Opportunities Fund. I am looking at that fund not for anything else, but the learnings which it gave us. In 10 days time, very soft launch, we got around 500,000 applications from 92% of the pin codes of the country, 92%. 50% of the applicants came from the B30, so the smaller towns. Only 50% came from the bigger towns. And 50% of the applicants are either millennials or Gen Z. 50%. That's the change which is happening. And 94% transaction happened to digital modes. 30% application came through the mobile or iPad, these things. So the India has changed completely. So this is giving us this. I am looking at it as a case study that how the things are changing. But the people who are coming through these modes are those who are coming through the very valued distributors like Sapient and others, and they are holding hands and they are looking forward and they are making it happen. So today, when we are looking at the businesses, the business is coming and looking for, and everybody was ready to do it. And honestly speaking, when we launched this fund, we thought that we'll be collecting around 2,500 crores, but we ended up collecting around 7,000 crores in this fund. And this was not even, this was beyond our expectations also. And that's how the India is changing. And when we look at it, we all feel that we are living in a VUCA world. VUCA is volatility, is part and parcel of our business. Complexity, uncertainty is there. As I said earlier, though uncertainty is everywhere, but within uncertainty, we are more certain about the things rather than anybody else. And I tell you, in last 1 month, I visited our joint venture partner, Paris, twice. And the way they are looking at India, and they have one World Economic Forum every year in the month of June. And 5 years ago, we were not having even a single speaker from India. And the whole conference of 2 days, India was not even being talked about. During the 2 days, once or twice, India's name was coming in any this thing. And this year, when this is happening, they are out of 13 speakers, including Nobel laureates. There are 5 topics which are on India. 5 out of 13 are on India. India's growth story, India's demography. So that gives us so much confidence. But at the same time, we have to run with them. When a lot of foreign money will come in, we don't want that Indians should miss out the opportunity. Again, coming back to say the creamy layer has to be India. We have to be part of the journey. We have to be part of the wealth creation opportunities which are coming in India. And all of us know that there is an election which is coming forward, and we all are very certain about what is going to happen. Even if very unlikely event of some uncertainty, the policies are so much cemented in the country. There could be 3, 4, 5 months uncertainty when things have to move up, because this country has become the country of entrepreneurs. Yes, the other day when in Paris, somebody gave a statement, there's no unemployment in India. Either the people who are saying that they are unemployed, they are unemployable. They are not, their education is so bad, their culture is so bad, they are unemployable. And anybody who wants to work in India can definitely become an entrepreneur. So that's what we are doing it. And when we all are busy in our works, so we have to put money where we are going to get profits. And the people like Mr. Janak, Mr. Amit, and other team members, they are there to take care of it. And I tell you, they grill us a lot. Whenever we are creating any portfolio, whenever they are putting money somewhere, they do take care of your portfolio. They do discuss with us. They do discuss with our fund managers why you are putting money in this stock or that stock. All of us as investors, we may not be having that much time, but I think this is a very noble job, and I really congratulate them. I think they need a big hand of applause for what they are doing for their clients. So now, these are some things, as I said, I don't want to talk too much about this thing, but these are the total landscape has changed. Absolute landscape has changed since 2013 to 2000. When I was talking about 2009, 6 lakh crores. In 2013, the whole mutual fund business was 8.26 lakh crores, which has moved to more than 50 lakh crores, it's 54 lakh crores, so on and so forth. And when we, digital transaction, which I talked about in our fund, 76% of the are happening in digital way. In fact, I will give you another example. The other day when we were in US, the fund managers in the company said, we understand you can transfer money through phone only to one another. And I was with my CIO, and there were 20 people. I just did one Google Pay to my client. I said money is paid, and he said money received. The people stood up and they clapped for India, the kind of infrastructure we have created. So that is the way we are, and we have to be. When our Prime Minister says that we are growing and Amrut call and UPI transactions, so on and so forth, people say that he's giving a political statement, he was trying to do, but this is a fact. Everywhere in the globe, we are being seen as the leaders, and we are being seen, and this is something which is happening. See, all parameters, GST collection, 18 lakh crores. Another data which is not here, I'm telling you, when I was reading in the personal income tax numbers have outgrown the corporate taxes in India. And today in India, this is happening for the third time in the last 25 years, that personal income tax is more than the corporate tax is around 9 lakh crores, and the personal income tax is more than 10 lakh crores. The compliance, the governance, whatever is happening. And I come from Punjab, I tell you what is happening there. People have always been, they have never paid taxes. Nobody has capital. Nobody ever thought that they will pay any tax. Now today, they are facing the problem of not having capital because they have been thriving on cash only. Today, if they want to do something, they don't have capital, seed capital also. This is the result. Wherever this tax governance is better, compliance is good, people, the industries, the states are growing. And in our federal system, there's a big competition amongst chief ministers to outgrow the other. So this is what is giving us this thing. The states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, and today UP and Odisha, these are the two states. These are seen as the poster boys amongst the states, and people are putting in money, and lots of opportunities for all of us to put money there because they are going to make good profit. And when they make good profit, their share prices will go up and we will get benefited if we are invested. So how can we invest otherwise? Otherwise we cannot do anything, right? We have to be part of the growth journey only through this, and this data showcases us how big the things are moving. And when I came from Bombay to Pune today while driving, I think half of the way is through some or the other infrastructure projects. Within Pune also, there's a 45 minutes we were running around the infrastructure projects. What is going to happen? It's going to give us result in next decade, right? And that is the decade when we will get benefited out of it. And so this is something which is very, very important. So this case study which we're talking about, I will not go through the details. This is a case study where people talked about the housewives when there was 0% interest in Japan. They kept on going into the FDs and other countries, and the currency was stable. And the government came to the group of housewives to understand how they are managing their money so that they can also learn from them. And this is what is a hypothetical name. This is not actual name, but they did it by inclusive financial education, discipline and patience, adaptability in changing order, community and collaboration, and they did all these things amongst their groups only. And there's a big case study which is being taught in Harvard School of Business and other schools where they are talking about. What we are talking about is, please, if you are putting money, have faith, give it long time, don't be very short term, and the financial education, keep on educating yourself and your partners, and we as manufacturers, we are doing a lot of things. But there's no need of now telling mutual fund sahi hai or SIP kar do. That all has already happened. Now this is only the longevity, putting more and more money. Have faith in your country, have faith in the growth trajectory. Things will keep on happening. And I assure you one thing, all the fund houses in the country, their fund managers are doing a lot of hard work. Just to give you an example, in our own fund house in last year, if there are 100 IPOs which have come in the market, we would have participated hardly in 20 and 25. Okay, and out of 25, we would have made money out of 25, 23, 24, because the research capabilities of all the fund houses are so strong. And we don't get into the stocks where we are not confident about the businesses. And one more thing, even if the business is good, but the kind of data which we require, the kind of transparency which we need in mutual funds, if that is not available, we will not put even a single paisa. Even at the cost of losing the profit, because the transparency is the key, governance is the key. Today, all across the world, people are talking about ESG. In India, after the IBC code, after all these things which have come in our economy, the governance is one thing which has improved many fold. And we get very good companies with very good governance. Lots of new corporates are coming where we can make money, and I think we should be able to create value for all of us during this thing. So if we talk about the asset management, these are the things which we are having domestic passives, we are having domestic mutual funds, we are having AF and PMS, which is there. And as I talk about increasing illiquidity premium and research arbitrage, what does it mean? When I said put in money for long period, don't look at the liquidity at all. Perhaps we as an industry have sold liquidity too much. Now is the time to sell little illiquidity when you have certainty. We are not looking at 3 months and 6 months, we are looking at 5 to 7 years or something like that. So that now, and the passives are growing and growing very fast. But while talking about passives, I will give a disclaimer. There are people who swear by passives. There are people who swear by actives. But I personally feel that the huge alpha generating opportunities are still there, and the fund management industry can create a lot of wealth in active, at least for a decade, till the time we really become Viksit Bharat. When at that point of time, all the things come as it is happening in US today. But we are still at least 10 years away from that. But yes, passives will keep on growing. Why? For two reasons. One, the people who are given responsibility to invest in fiduciary capacity on behalf of somebody, and they don't want to have the fund manager bias, so they will keep on putting money in passives. But generally, the people, but there is a good case for passives also. There are so many smart beta strategies, there are so many themes where the index can be created, but that is now work in progress. Like, for example, there are funds like equal weight in the index only, it's Nifty 50. Rather than putting 14% in top stock and 10% in second stock and 0.5% and 0.05 or 0.10% in 50th stock, putting money 2% in each and every stock, because all these are good companies, makes better sense, and that is passive only. Again, the domestic mutual funds, when we talk about, is also this thing. So this is the total universe. If we are looking at the AIF, this is uncorrelated investment strategies that offer lucrative post-tax returns. But here you are buying more illiquidity than liquidity. Then allocation to low-cost passive themes, index ETFs, I said. But ETFs, I still feel that ETFs are a little away from us. But this is a global trend. We are globalizing very quickly. So this is something which is happening. And the short-term, the thematic allocation is increasing day by day, because there are so many themes, so many active themes, like I talked about Energy Opportunities Fund, or innovation funds which will come in the market, or some disruptive technology fund. Again, talking about my joint venture partner, they have a separate subsidiary which runs only thematic funds. And that company is bigger than the normal funds, because going forward we'll have the portfolios which are aligned with our dreams, and this will have not only Indian stocks but global stocks as well. So those are the things which we'll have to see. And overseas, except we all are talking about Gift City, which I have left it for my friend Swarup to talk about. But the Gift City, the liberalized remittance scheme where every Indian can put in $2.5 lakh dollars every year. So many people are taking a dip into it. But honestly speaking, even today, we as a fund house, we had a meeting with Reserve Bank of India. We working on, because there was a limit on the international investments. We are working on together, Swarup is aware about it through our trade body also. We are discussing with RBI and SEBI how to increase the limits. I think there will be a lot of opportunities on the international side as well. So exploring what does passive investment bring to the table? I will not talk too much about it because I already given a disclaimer. Because but since it is there, the ease of access, you can do it digitally. Wide range of products is definitely low cost. No fund manager bias, liquidity, transparency. This is for your information. These are available, and Sapient will definitely help you in getting into this if you want. But again, disclaimer that alpha generating capabilities are still there, so we may not necessarily be doing it. And there's no active versus passive scenario in India, unlike the West. This is not so. We have both. India is an inefficient market where both strategies can thrive and have efficient market. This is some passive investing should be used as building blocks in managing the risk return budgets of the. But as I said, most of these things are happening only where people are now having the investing money in the investor fiduciary capacity. So PMS and AIF, this is another area where the opportunities are there. Since my topic is to talk about it, I'm talking. But yes, it's there, PMS, HNIs, UA, because there's a private market which is thriving in India, especially when we talk about Gift City. There will be a lot of schemes which will be coming, which will be investing in the private side, which the non-listed companies also, so that they will be investing. Risks are relatively higher in AIF, moderately higher in PMS. These are the different, the minimum investment is 50 lakhs and 1 crore. This I have to showcase because of my topic, otherwise I would not have talked about it too much. So this is up to Sapient to decide whether they want to offer it, because there are pluses, there are minuses of all these kind of strategies. But yes, AIFs offer strategies that are sophisticated and normally cannot be offered under other vehicles such as mutual funds or PMS. That is how it is. But it's, again, fingers crossed. We are graduating to that. We are getting more and more money into this, because sometimes what happens, we feel mutual funds are for common man and AIF and PMS are for the evolved investors. Actually, that is not correct. There are so many opportunities within the active also where we can have it, because the returns have to come in percentage terms. Whether you put 200,000 or 2 crores, the returns will be in percentage terms, and there's no question of having a smaller fund or bigger fund. There are opportunities everywhere where you are putting money, at least in the next 1 decade, that is there. This is what we feel. So Gift City is something, I will not talk about it because I already said Swarup. I think Swarup, you will be having something on this? Yeah. So he will be giving you much more better perspective on this. So he is in this. So, but this is something that RBI has permitted every citizen to remit a sum of US dollar $250,000 every year. And this money doesn't have to be repatriated back to India. You can, if somebody wants to keep some money outside India and can redeem there, can use there, that is possible. But if it is going through mutual fund, the money will necessarily come back to India for redemption. That is the basic difference. If it is going through LRS, this can be kept outside the country, not necessary that. But for mutual fund scheme, investing in overseas, money will have to come back and redeemed in India. So twice it will happen. This is something which you have to keep in mind. But yes, the way we are getting globalized, the way everybody feels that let us have some diversification outside India. So there will be products available through Gift City where you can have this. Already there some schemes are already there, but things are building up in Gift City. Maybe next 1 year post-elections, the dramatic changes will happen, and 1 year down the line, when we are in this room, I think we'll have lot many products to offer to our clients all across the country. And wealth can be created in different destinations where one may want to spend in the future, such as investing in USD for utilization for further education or buying some house or buying a second house somewhere. So all these things are available through mutual fund, through fund management route. And there. So this is what I feel, that tax planning exercise, you're right. Because we feel that tax paying is your responsibility. Definitely, unless until we pay our taxes, we are not into governance, we have to be governed. The tax paying is your responsibility, efficient tax planning is your right. And that can be best well done through your partners, through your Sapient people. They are looking into it, how to do it, because today, after last year changes in the debt market, there are three kind of taxes which are there. One is pure equity, which is 10% for short term. Short term means, 15% for short term, less than 1 year, 15%. More than 1 year, it's 10% tax, which is very, very tax efficient. And I tell you, globally, this kind of income tax rates, this kind of attractive rates are nowhere in the globe. Even in the European countries, where the marginal rate goes as high as 50%, there also, they have given some concession to capital gains, but still the capital gain tax, long-term capital gain tax is 35% against 50%. And in India, it is 10%. Higher growth, lesser tax rate, and that too coming as a capital gain, no TDS, nothing of that sort. I think this is the best way of managing it. And the second category is the hybrid, where you get the indexation benefit. If you are putting 35% of your portfolio in equities and 65% is in debt, 35% plus in equities, up to 65% in debt, then you get the benefit of indexation. Indexation means if you are keeping your money for more than 3 years and there's an inflation of, say, at the rate of 6%. So 3 years, if you are having, say, 15% year on year, 45% returns for 3 years, 18% will be knocked out of that. On the 27%, you have to pay 20%. That is 5.4%. So 5.4% on 45% is hardly anything. It's around 12-13%. This is just a back of the envelope calculation. But I think that is the best thing. Rather than putting some money in FDs or debt and some money in equities, it's better to come for a fund which is investing 35% in equities. And there are so many such funds like multi-asset allocation funds, which are putting 35% in this, and 65% will definitely give you a return which is equivalent to FD return, for sure, over the period of 3 years, because you can get much more if it's a lowering interest rate era, and fund managers take a call on duration and all those things. But I tell you, when we have seen, if you look at the past returns of multi-asset funds, that is giving. So what I'm saying is, efficient tax planning is your right. When you are talking about, you need not talk only about the growth trajectory, but the tax trajectory as well. This is your right. And the remaining debt funds, as of now, because of the changes made last year, it's being paid as the marginal tax. But of course, we are trying our level best to impress upon the government, impress upon the authorities that this should be given, because any investor who is putting money in debt fund rather than FD, he or she is taking some risk of duration, risk of volatility going up and down, and he or she is putting money for more than 3 years, and then they should be given some reward. And second, if government wants that the corporates who are growing, they should get 25% from the market, and the mutual funds are not getting money from the investors, how will mutual funds will invest? Because the investment by all of us put together is the raw material for funds to buy corporate debt papers. If we don't have money, how will we buy? And how then the pressure on banks will continue, and banks will be paying, have to be, going around for the deposit mobilization, and that will not happen. Ultimately, it's a vicious circle. So to have a balanced approach, it's required that debt fund also should be given. We are trying our level best. But even if it doesn't happen, this 35-65% approach is very, very good for all of us, and we must exercise this. And while doing so, part of the portfolio putting in this also gives you an opportunity that you can buy some illiquidity, because in this fund you will keep money at least for 3 years. If you have 100 rupees, at least you should put 25, 30 rupees in this fund so that your tax outgo is the minimum. So what I say is all of us have to take care of our tax planning also through mutual funds. And there are so many other ways also which your partners can tell you. There are ways and means, and these are legitimate ways and means of saving your tax outgo. So I think we should be working on this. So to tax planning, you need to agile in investing, create a holistic portfolio with a balanced risk return portfolio. Liquid is overrated. Allocate certain portion of investment committee to illiquid assets which offer illiquidity premium. That's what we were talking about it. Don't always look for something which I can encash tomorrow. Why? You don't need it. And when you put in so much liquid asset, then you forego the premium on the illiquidity. Because illiquidity is a premium which you can get by taking out some money for a longer period. Create a core and satellite portion approach to balance out risk. Return profile of the overall portfolio can be changed. If we are putting, say, 40-50% in equity and remaining in the multi-asset, automatically it will come into a very, very balanced approach. Passives offered a varied range of products that could be used as building blocks for incorporating in a portfolio to manage certain risk budgets. That's again an important part of this thing. Alternates offer investment opportunities in the other end of the investment spectrum. These are two different paradigms, and efficient tax planning can go a long way. So that's what from my side, and I think any questions I'll be more than happy to take. Because I was given 25 minutes, I think I've overshooted by 5 minutes. But please, any question? Thank you. But again, Sapient, thank you so much for such a world gathering and giving me a chance to speak to them. I don't know how much I have been able to do justice, but I have tried to say what I feel. I personally feel for myself or my nears and dears. That's what I'm trying to tell you, and that's how I am managing my portfolio or my family's portfolio. That's what it is. Thank you so much.
So just a moment. Hello. So please wait. I would now request Mr. Pallav Bagaria, Mr. Janak Shah, and Mr. Gaurang Gandhi to please come up on stage and felicitate Mr. DP Singh.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. I would request Veena to please take the dais.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your presentation. Your comprehensive analysis and insights have certainly provided our audience with a deeper understanding of the potential in this vibrant market. Moving forward, it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Amit Bibalkar, founder, director of Sapient Finserv. With a wealth of experience and decades of expertise in navigating the markets, Mr. Amit Bibalkar is dynamic with its presentations, always bringing fresh and intriguing topics to the table. But what truly sets him apart is his uncanny knack for transforming complex ideas into accessible and engaging narratives that resonate with people from all walks of life. Today, he'll be delving into the exciting realm of market adventures. His perspectives promise to be both engaging and thought-provoking. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Amit Bibalkar as he takes stage.
Thank you, DP sir. Welcome, Swarup. And welcome to one and all. I think Friday evenings are good. We generally fear Fridays because SEBI comes out with a circular almost on all Fridays. Sandeep, you will agree to that. Good evening, everyone. And I'm so happy to see 700 people in one room on a Friday evening. So big round of applause for all of you. As you all know, over the past 10 years when I have been presenting, I have not been presenting with charts and with market data, but trying to put in some fun element and some social element into what we do. This time, are you ready? Let's go. So I've been a fan of Doordarshan ads when I was a child, and there are a lot of messages that we get from these ads. So there are some ads which have probably made an impression on you. There are some ads which you can actually relate with investments. There are some ads which I have used to showcase competition, and there are some ads which will give us a message. So let's start with the first one. There was a rule in my house that 7:20 was dinner time and there was Batmya 7:20 to 7:30 and everybody had to be around the table and you must listen to this music and for 10 minutes maybe Sudha Naravane or somebody would talk to you on this. But financial Batmya kasha astat? In the world of news, everything is happening today as a breaking news. Everything they want to show the same clip 50 times over and just say breaking news, Arvind Kejriwal, breaking news, Arvind Kejriwal. Does it happen in the financial market? Over the last 30 years, when we have been reading newspapers, the pink papers, so financial बातम्या actually कशा असतात? तो financial बातम्या कालच्या, आजच्या, उद्याच्या ठळक बातम्या या अशाच असतात. Every time you open a newspaper, either they say you have lost 1.5 lakh crore of investors' money, or they will say investors have gained 1.5 lakh of investment wealth due to mark-to-market. Now we have seen this, that when such kind of news actually drives our investor behavior, and I think we have an eminent speaker. Nimish, are you here? Yeah, so Nimish will talk about investor behavior, but this is a news which we had seen on 21st of March 2020. They said, bulls lockdown, markets gasp. Look at this newspaper cutting. On the left-hand side, you have said indices crashed 13%, making India the worst performing market in the world. 14 trillion market cap wiped off, financial stocks lead the rout. On the extreme right, you have got liquidity crunch, hurts investors in debt funds. Worst ever fall for Nifty, trading below pre-Modi levels, corporate bond yields spike on default fear. So any asset class you take, it was probably a period where everybody said, if I had bought gold, I would have been saved, or I could have kept the money in my house. Modi connects with India as factories, offices shut down, business wish list, struggle to keep production going. And if we would have gone with this narrative, and if we would have redeemed, you would have lost probably the biggest bull run, the Nifty's Nifty journey from 2020 March. So how much should you really pay heed to media reports, to newspaper articles? You have to really think, is it affecting you in the long run? So from 7,600 to 22 now. It's thrice in the last 4 years, and we had our own challenges. We had our own doubts on India. And how do I sum it? I sum it by one old ad, which will tell you this.
वही पुराने नील के धब्बे, वही पुरानी सफेदी।
कब बदलेगा नील, कब बदलेगी तकदीर? आया नया उजाला, 4 बूंदों वाला। इंस्टावायलेट कॉन्सेंट्रेट, कपड़ों के रेशे तक जाए, सफेदी का नया रंग लाए। नील हो जाओ,
हाँ,
महीने भर की सफेदी आए।
ज्योति लैबोरेटरीज का आविष्कार उजाला सुप्रीम।
4 बूंदों वाला।
So we had our 4 blood spots. What was it? Scattered info. Government was not able to have information at one place. Low tax collections. India's credit worthiness, growth challenge. If you would have read papers, all the rating agencies in the world, they were not ready to look at India. In fact, they were saying that India is going to go down in terms of rating. The third one was our dependency on foreign flows. Every investor whom I know for the last 20-25 years, 5 years before or before COVID, everybody was asking, FIs are buying or FIs are selling? So we were so dependent on FI flows that this became a topic of discussion when stock market was discussed. The last one, okay, we are in IT, we have done a good job, but we are only a body shopping store. We only have people who will go from here on site into US, into UK, and we are only a body shopping store. To take away these dark dabbas, the Neel what we actually used and which created Ujala is your AIS on tax collections. So there are many CA friends who are sitting here. Now you get all your information. So all your FDs which were below 1 lakh scattered in 15 other banks. Now Nirmala Sitharaman makes it very easy. She shows you in one statement. So you can't really say that I don't have these FDs. Account aggregator is one thing which is going to change the way we are looking at India. Account aggregator means all your information, all your deposits, all your insurance, all your mutual funds, insurance, demat accounts across all banks will be visible to you in your own bank statement. This is account aggregator, and this is going to change the way we are looking at data. It comes with a caveat. If you're giving permission for any banker to have a look at all of this data, that means he exactly knows where your money is. But account aggregator is something which is going to change the landscape. The second is the bond index inclusion. If you look at what is happening with the JP Morgan bond and the Bloomberg now, starting this April, you will have a lot of flow in the debt market from across the globe into India. So 3 years ago, we were being touted as whether our credit worthiness will remain or whether we are going to get downgraded. Now you have India included in the bond index. The third one, and thanks to all of you, we have a 19,000 crore SIP book as Indians per month, which is going into equity markets. And that 19,000 crores, actually now, if you tally it up for the year, we have crossed foreign investors for the entire year because of all of you. A big round of applause for all the retail investors and the high net worths who have put trust into mutual funds. And the last one, India now a premium mind store. Why I have written a premium mind store? From a mere body shopping store, what we were called in year 2000 for the Y2K problem, if you try to talk to any of the big 4 companies like Deloitte, like KPMG, like E&Y, all of these guys are making tons of money in consultancy. The largest of the lot, Ernst & Young, is making 800 crores a year by consultancy. And these are for companies which are outside India, but done by Indians who are sitting in India. So from a service, from a Y2K, from a body shopping, now people are looking at Indians as a premium mind store, and this business is only going to grow. When we talk of the GDP side on the services, now instead of software, please pay attention to the consultancy, the premium mind, which is going to drive this economy. And that's how we have the Hira, the Kohinoor, which is still with UK. But from India, the way to become Bharat is by washing off your Dag Dabbas with the Ujala.
ओहो दीपिका जी, आइए आइए, लीजिए आपका सब सामान तैयार।
ये नहीं, वो निर्मा सुपर नीली डिटर्जेंट टिकिया
लेकिन आप तो वो हमेशा महंगी वाली टिकिया
लेती थी। जब वही महंगे दामों वाली क्वालिटी, वही सफेदी, वही झाग कम दामों में मिले तो कोई ये क्यों ले? वो न ले।
मान गए?
किसे?
आपकी पारखी नजर और निर्मा सुपर दोनों को।
अब निर्मा सुपर, धुलाई का सुपर दाम, दाम फिर भी कम।
So I'm a Maharashtrian, but working with a Gujarati partner and a Marwadi partner, you can imagine what can happen. So instead of Swasth Raho, I said we always believe in Swasth Raho, because everybody wants a discount on whatever we buy. Everybody wants something which is cheaper than what is offered to somebody else. If you try to look at what we are going to do, is we are going to say that instead of Swasth Raho, Saral Rakho and Mast Raho. I've seen a lot of investors who, for the lack of what you can say payment of commissions, have moved to online platforms. Gaurang Gandhi was here to felicitate DP Singh. One of his friend has an account with a large broking company, which is a discount broker and zero brokerage. He wanted a capital gain statement. When the normal capital gain statement was not working, he had to call the company, and the company in the next broking statement billed him 720 rupees for that phone call to get his own capital gain statement. So things do not appear cheap as they seem to be. Instead, if you go with mutual funds and ETFs, you can be swastha and you can also be masta.
हाँ चलता हूँ सुख बांट बांट, हाँ चलता हूँ सुख बांट तेरे जग में लब भर दूं, टूटे दिल को कर दूं फिट, फ्लॉपी फिल्म को कर दूं हिट, मैं जाने को मगन कर दूं, गिरे को उठा दूं, उठे को सुला दूं, हाँ मेरा नाम है जुगाड़, हाँ मेरा नाम है जुगाड़। टूटे दिल को कर दूं फिट, तो फिल्म को कर दूं हिट, जो ना हो सके मैं वो कर दूं, हाँ मेरा नाम है जुगाड़, हाँ मेरा नाम है जुगाड़। कौन है? मैं। हाँ मेरा नाम है जुगाड़, हाँ मेरा नाम है जुगाड़। क्या हुआ?
देखो, ये सब जुगाड़ मेरे घर पे मत दिखाना, नहीं तो किसी और को लाके बिठा लूंगी।
सुलेखा बस
Why the ad here? Is because I come across a lot of clients who said कि मेरा RM ने बोल दिया ये हो जाएगा, and then I asked them, who told you this? Somebody from Sapient? He said no, there was another guy who told me this. So we are all anti-jugadu. We don't want to do any jugad with your portfolio. And when competition does some jugad with your portfolio, I am so happy that there is competition, because they do all such things and then people come to us. In the last 14 years, what Sapient is in existence now, I can proudly say from here, we have not sold a single scheme which had upfront commission. DP sir, we have not sold a single scheme which had upfront commission for the last 14 years. And we have always maintained that what the client wants and what the client needs, I exactly know the difference. Client might want anything, but what the client needs is something which will be given by Sapient. Therefore, slowly is the fastest way to get where you want to be. People generally have a mechanism to look at profits of other colleagues, friends, discussion in a bar, in a club. But let me tell you, over 15 years, this is the only mantra which I've got so many investors here who started with 10, 20,000 rupee SIPs and now are running 5 lakh rupee SIPs, and they have well over 5, 10 crore portfolios, because slowly is the fastest way to get where you want to be. This is a famous one. There are 3 types of services which any distributor offers or any player offers: fast, good, and cheap. But you can only get 2 at one point of time. So if you need fast and cheap, it will not be good. If you need fast and good, it will not be cheap, definitely. If you need cheap and good, it will not come fast. So whenever you think of any service from anybody, it is only choice amongst these three: fast, cheap, and good. If you want fast and good, then you need to pay for that service. That will not come as cheap.
आ गए। आजकल बड़े छाए हुए हो टीवी पर, पान पराग और क्या क्या।
शुक्रिया।
टीवी तो कहते हो हमेशा तैयार रहता हूँ, आज कहाँ है तुम्हारा डिब्बा?
तो ये क्या है?
एक ही पाउच से क्या सबको खिलाओगे?
आप भी लीजिए, एक से मेरा क्या होगा? तो आप दो लीजिए। और मेरे लिए? स्वादिष्ट पान पराग।
If you look at any of the RMs of Sapient, we do not sell new fund offers. It is like pan parag. The same dibba you are trying to sell कि मेरे पास एक diversified fund है और एक ले लो और एक ले लो और एक ले लो. Sales guys have the targets of mutual funds. Sapient does not have that target. So we do not sell NFOs which are a repetition in your portfolio. Instead, ये ad अगर देखी होगी तो इसमें दिखा है कि वो एक लड़की को भी पान पराग खिला रहा है. In today's day and age, do you think this is going to happen? Nobody shows this, that somebody is chewing. आज क्या हो रहा है? If you look at all the 5-10 year performances, and if you look at various asset classes, somebody else is ruling the roost every year. Either it is S&P or small cap or gold or small cap or Nifty 50 or Nifty small cap or gold. And you clearly are not aware which is going to make you the maximum money. And therefore, what we believe is that even the Pan Supari companies have realized this, and therefore now you have three actors which actually market you the same product, right? What we think is multiple assets in a cohesive structure to profitably travel across market cycles. Hence, for the last 14 to 15 months, we have only sold you one fund, which is multi-asset. We clearly believe that this is the way forward, where you get a combination of equity, debt, and precious metals. And that is something which is going to offer you tax benefits also. Let's go ahead.
आइए जनाब आइए। क्या ये क्या चाहिए?
जी वो हाँ, एक प्रेशर कुकर चाहिए।
प्रेशर कुकर? क्यों नहीं। आप अपनी बीवी से कितना प्यार करते हैं ये तो बताइए।
क्या मतलब है आपका?
मतलब है मान लीजिए आप अपनी बीवी को सिर्फ थोड़ा सा चाहते हैं अगर, तो कोई भी चलेगा प्रेशर कुकर। लेकिन अगर थोड़ा ज्यादा लगा है जनाब, तो थोड़ा अच्छा प्रेशर कुकर लेके देंगे आप। अगर अपनी जान से भी ज्यादा प्यारी है इनकी जान, तो फिर ये 100% सुरक्षित प्रेस्टीज लेके देंगे श्रीमान।
लेकिन प्रेस्टीज ही क्यों?
क्योंकि सिर्फ इसी में है अनोखा गास्केट रिलीज सिस्टम, जिससे जरा भी खतरा नहीं रहता। ये देखिए, ये इस तरह काम करता है। अगर कुछ दाने वेट वेंट में फंस जाए, तो साधारण प्रेशर कुकर में जरूरत से ज्यादा प्रेशर जमा होने से खतरा पैदा हो सकता है। लेकिन नए प्रेस्टीज में सेफ्टी फिल्टर कैसा भी लगा हो, अनोखे गास्केट रिलीज सिस्टम की वजह से आप सुरक्षित रूप से बाहर निकल जाती है।
जी तो प्रेस्टीज ही दीजिए।
जो बीवी से सचमुच करते प्यार, वो प्रेस्टीज से कैसे करें इनकार?
And why this ad? Because what I feel is that whatever you achieve, as a company, we are the largest mutual fund distributor in the country today, thanks to you. As a company, I can boast that we have the largest SIP book in the country. We have a SIP book of 30 crores per month. That's what we contribute to the mutual fund industry. If you look at the equity assets under management, Sapient Finserv is the largest equity AUM in MFDs across India. But our true prestige is our family of 28,000 happy investors. So जो बीवी से करे प्यार, वो prestige से कैसे करे इनकार? All these numbers are for industry. Today I might be on the top, tomorrow somebody else will take my place. Our motto has been creating happy investors. And I think our focus will always be on creating these happy investors.
रिश्ता वही सोच नहीं
So Rishta Wahi Soch Nahi, why the Finserv word? Because we are also looking at helping you on the other side of the balance sheet, where we have started loan against mutual funds, loan against securities, and we will soon have more liability products from the Sapient Finserv stable.
यहीं पे तो गड़बड़ हो गया कि सोने की चिड़िया कह दिया देश में। अब सोने की चिड़िया कह दिया, छोटी सी चिड़िया, उसको अंग्रेजों ने खूब लूटा, खूब लूटा। चिड़िया थी, लूट लिया। लेकिन अब मोदी जी ने इसको बना दिया है सोने का शेर। अब कोई लूट के दिखाए। अब तो जिन लोगों ने लूटा था उनके देश का प्रधानमंत्री भारतीय है, सनातनी, दिन रात उसकी यहाँ पूजा पाठ होता है। तो मैंने इसकी पंक्ति बदल दी है। जहाँ डाल डाल पर सोने के शेरों ने किया बसेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा।
I have not been given any money to promote anybody here, but this was something which I liked, that this is how people are looking at us. And we have to actually believe in our own story. Market valuations can be anything. I'm not saying remove your FD and put all your money in stock markets today. But is it our decade? Can I look at making money over the next 10 years in India? What I believe, एडवाइजर सिर्फ अच्छा होने से काफी नहीं है, एडवाइजर सच्चा भी होना चाहिए। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, Amit sir, for sharing your valuable insights on market adventure. I would now like to introduce to you to our next chief guest for the evening, Mr. Swarup Mohanti, Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Mirai Asset Investment Managers India Private Limited. Mr. Swarup is a commerce graduate and subsequently has done a postgraduate diploma in business management from Ford School of Management, New Delhi in 1994. He started his journey in financial services in Tata Finance Limited, Kolkata. He has handled responsibilities as a Vice President of Kotak Mutual Fund, heading the North and East zones, after which he took up as the Vice President Franklin Templeton, India, to head the North Zone based out of New Delhi. Prior to joining Mirai, Mr. Mohanti was the National Sales Head, IFA and Regional Distributors and Retail Channels of Birla Sun Life Asset Management Company Limited and Religare Asset Management Company Public Limited, Mumbai respectively. He joined Mirai Asset Mutual Fund in 2011 as the head sales for all distribution verticals pan-India. He has gradually grown in the organization to become the CEO in 2016 and has recently been appointed as the Vice Chairman of Mirai Asset Investment Managers India Private Limited in December 2023. Sir, I request you to kindly come up on stage and address the gathering.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Mirai Asset, I'd like to thank Sapient for this incredible opportunity to come and speak to you. I think I have to thank Amit, Janak Bhai and Pallav for the subject for today, because it had a lot of meaning to all of us when we created this presentation. They wanted a view of an outsider on India, and we come from Seoul, South Korea, and we are the first mutual fund out of South Korea. And when we reflected of our journey in India through this presentation, it was also a very emotional sort of journey for us, because I can very safely say that I think DP talked about it a little, and I think Amit really put it in the right perspective. We've actually just followed the India story. And from here on, we have a view on the India story, and that's why our businesses also are falling into line as per that. So I'll reflect on that journey in this next 30-35 minutes, because when you start looking at any global asset manager or any global player coming into any country, the overall view of the global data points are very important. And let's look at some of the global data points of India as they stand. Today, we talk about India at number 5 in the world, very quickly going to number 3 in the world. And can you imagine, I see some people of different ages, can you imagine when I was a child, if somebody would have told me this would be the 3rd largest economy of the world, I would have said, take a walk. But that's where we are, even at number 5. It looks unbelievable. I just came back from Japan. For me, it was a life-changing experience, because what I saw in Japan is probably not going to happen in India for the next 40, 50 years in infrastructure. But we will overtake them in their economy, and that's a reality. That's point number 1. The second part is from a stock market perspective. We are around 4 trillion compared to the US and NASDAQ at around 25, 26 trillion. That's where we stand, at 4.5 trillion. Still a story yet to be born is where it is coming. Why it's yet to be born, I'll reflect on a little later. This is how the global markets or the market cap of the world reflects. US obviously dominates with 42%. India is a mere 4% of global market cap, which is $109 trillion as we speak. We just 4% of global market cap. Hong Kong is almost similar to us. It will be a matter of pride for us to go ahead of Hong Kong. It's just a matter of time. But Japan is ahead of us. China is 11%. And of course, the big 2 daddies are US and Europe as we speak. But just to take this story forward, country-wise, from assets under management, the world is a 63 trillion AUM for mutual funds, nearly 50% housed out of US. Europe is around 19%. India is 555 million with 50 lakh crores as we speak. But look at us in comparison to where the world is as on today in 2023. Reflect on the fact that we are set to be the 3rd largest economy in the world. But when it comes to financial investing, the difference is just staggering. Just to then foresee the future, this is how the world invests. Nearly 75 to 80% of the AUMs globally, our AUM to GDP is almost 75%. India stands at a mere 15%. That we look at is this biggest opportunity in the next decade. This will merge somewhere. It will not be 15% is a reality. And when you look at the drivers to that, as to why it's happened globally, or say, let's look at the US data, nearly 50% of households in the US invest in mutual fund, 35% of people in the US own mutual funds. When you look at that same story in India, it's a very, very cliched story, which all of us know. We are in traditional assets. This is the financial data or the financial investing data of RBI, just talking about an average Indian investments. This is how it is allocated. Gold forms a big part of our investments, 34%. Bank takes 13%. Insurance takes 13%. Pension, and let me reflect that only 6% of Indians get pension in the country. The rest create pension. Only 10% of the 100 rupees, non-real estate 100 rupees, comes to equity at a time when India is probably the story of the world. Some might say this is low. we look at it as an opportunity when we build our business in India. When we look at our story in India, and let's get a little to our part of how we reflect on the country from the outside. When we came to India in our early days in 2006, and let's reflect on some of the Koreans in India. Samsung gets 15% of its overall business from India. Hyundai gets 10%, LG is around 8%, lost a little bit of market share, but most of these names, Kia is making its inroads. I will ask you to keep a watch on Kia's market share going forward. It is a major manufacturer in Korea, but slowly but surely making its name felt in India. The point I'm making is the South Korean and Indian relationships on business and its penetration in India is fairly known to everybody in this hall itself. We share the same Independence Day. Take it forward, both of us. If you come to our office on the 15th of August, we have both the flags flying. It's a great thing, both the offices, Seoul and us, we celebrate on the same day. The import and export trade between Korea and us is pretty substantial, and it's only grown over the years. These are two serious countries in collaboration with each other. And for Korea, India is a very, very important country, is what data says. Because I worked here for 13 years and I'm almost a Korean, I can vouch for that. When you look at our entry point in 2006, this is how the world looked. The world mutual fund AUM was just 21 trillion. India stood at a mere 72 billion. That's when we started our business in 2006. Today, when at that point of time when we started, the capital requirement was only 10 crores. And when you look at promoter commitment, this is our first thing that I'd like to point out. We seeded ourselves at 203 crores, making us one of the largest capitalized AMCs in the country. When you look at a promoter interest, it's about how much money they bring to India. We brought in 203 crores into the country at a time the requirement regulatory-wise was only 10 crores. We were absolutely clear of what we wanted in India at that point of time. I remember a story. I had my boss then, Mr. M.S. Kim. He came to India and he landed at the Mumbai airport. And he was with a colleague. Meena Kim was the lady's name, and she landed at the Mumbai airport, went to the washroom, ran out of the washroom because she couldn't use the washroom because it was extremely dirty. This was in 2006. On the way from the airport to Hyatt, that's where we started our business from, our boss called up our chairman, Mr. Hyunju Park. He said, "Why are we here? There's nothing here." And our chairman, Mr. Hyunju Park, said, "That is exactly why we are here." A journey started in 2006 with enough capital in the country, and since 2006, India is not a very happy place for global asset managers. It is a very tough country, let me tell you. Recently, I was hearing the interview of the Uber CEO, and he rightfully put the Indians, or the Indian consumer in a very good way. The Indian investor or the Indian consumer wants everything, but will not pay for anything. Kitna deta hai or whatever is the thing, we bargain. That's us as people. But as asset managers, it's not been a very happy hunting ground for India. And that's what has happened since 2006 to 2018. Look at the names which have left India. And in that backdrop, we have created our business. We've stood here, and our journey has not been exactly flowery from day one. When you start a business in 2008, when the global crisis happened, all business plans go out of the window in 6 months' time. That's happened to us. And if you look at a journey since 2008, this is the AUM, till 2013-14, it was zilch. I joined in 2011 as the head of sales. Our AUM was 464 crores. If you ask Amit, 464 crores will be the AUM of one of the RMs in Sapient. Our AUM was 464 crores. But look at it from a promoter's point of view. You've recruited a head of sales with a fair amount of experience. I don't say this with a lot of pride on the number of AMCs I've worked on. But post-Mire, I think it's been a fairly long instance. You recruited somebody in 2011. The AUM was 464 crores. Till 2014, it's moved nowhere. But in those 4 or 5 years, I've never got a call asking about what is the AUM, because the thought was we are creating track record. When I was interviewed, my boss asked me, what is your view in India? I said, it'll take me 3 years because the plans post 2018 have changed. And he said something that in any country we go to, our real asset gathering will happen in the 9th and 10th year. But it is what we do in the next 3 or 4 years will define how much money we will get in the 9th and 10th year. I said, can I hold you to it in my interview? He said, I don't know whether you'll be there or not. I'll be there, you can hold me to it. It's the same Mr. M.S. Kim who I was talking about. And then that's reflected in this journey. When nothing was happening, and trust me, when names like this exit the country, there is an investment banker sitting in our Korean office trying to sell us. It is an investment banking. One of the biggest foreign banks, who was our largest seller, was our biggest problem because the investment banking of that bank was sitting in Seoul trying to sell us every day. Okay, this person has exited, what are you doing in India? In that backdrop, I have never got a call on India because that was the view on India, that we have to sit there. And once you sat there, in 2018, we were 22,000 crores and the story just started to unfold. It is a business of conviction and patience. That's this business. There is no shortcut to this business. It's something which my journey in Mirae Asset has taught me. Then came the second phase, which was the growth and expansion, and I'll reflect on some data points as we speak. The second part is when we realized that we had to grow our business beyond mutual fund. So we delisted, or we kind of brought the AMC down from the holding company, which was registered as an FI. From the 203 crores, put in 55 crores into the asset management business and made it a separate entity. We are now investment managers and not global investments. Then in 2019, we found this great opportunity in starting the pre-IPO side. We have almost 750 million of our own money invested in India today. Again, out of that money, we invested 77 crores to start the venture capital business. Some of the companies we are invested in right now as we speak. But right now, we've started raising money from India, and that company has started taking off into a different sort of trajectory. In 2020, we launched the first digital loan against mutual fund in India. Again, out of that money which we had created, nearly 300 crores of our own money is invested in lending people money and loan against mutual fund. It was an incredible experience for me to get a loan in 12 minutes flat in my phone unassisted. And tomorrow, as we start learning leverage, and it's not exactly bad, once we start learning leverage, I actually did not redeem my mutual funds to buy a car from that loan. People ask me, "Yare, apne paise se kyun liya?" But I took a loan 2 years ago, and in 2 years' time, I have recovered my money because the market shot up. Because invariably, the CEO of my Mirae Asset Financial Services said that you invest your long-term investments to cater to your short-term need, hence you get out of your compounding at the right time. I firmly believe when you look at broad mutual fund data, we are a set of long-term investors making short-term investments. Think about it sometime. But we started the loan against financial services, and then I learned something incredible in my life. In Gurgaon, the number of people who sit there creating indices for the world, indices is the index, Nifty 50 is an index. But the number of people who sit in Gurgaon creating indices for the world is not funny. We realized this opportunity because in the US and in most of the advanced countries, when you form a good idea, you can keep that index to yourself. It is called self-indexing. And hence, if you have a great idea in the US, our bunch of people sitting out of Gurgaon will create the index for them. In India, it's public yet, self-indexing is not there. So suppose we've created, and I'm just giving an example, suppose we've created a brilliant manufacturing index because we believe that next 15 years is manufacturing. It is on the NSE platform, anybody can reflect it. It is not our idea anymore once it is formed on a normal index. But because of that, again from that money we invested and created an index business out of Gurgaon. But all that is possible because of the backbone being AMC. It's a very unique model. When you look at global asset managers, most of the asset managers come to this business from other businesses. We are one of those 4 names whose core business is mutual funds. And even in India, like in Seoul, our backbone to the business is the mutual fund business. In 2006-7, 2008-19, we stood at an income of 190 crores with a profit after tax of 46 crores. In 2023, we finished at around 273 crores PAT, and that just grows with assets now touching 167 crores, out of which 140 crores is equity as we speak. And when you look at a futuristic approach, and DP kind of talked about gift and left it to me, we are registered as a retail fund house in the Gift City. Gift City is that space which gives you money, opportunity to put your money outside in the form of outbound funds and also get money from outside, and through 250,000 crores, as DP pointed out, through your LRS money, you can invest in some great opportunities in India too. Contrary to a lot of fund houses, here's a Korean company registering in GIFT as a retail fund house. I had this great opportunity to meet the Prime Minister of our country, Mr. Modi, along with the Finance Minister and the RBI Governor in Gift City recently in the vibrant Gujarat. And we put up this submission, and that's speaking about the country, is that we put up this submission that the story of India can be owned by the world. Why are we restricting it to a threshold? At this moment, it's 150,000 crores. At the end of our discussion, the Finance Minister said, Mr. Mohanti has made this statement, we'll come back to him. Last month, Gift City called us asking us for a paper. This would not have been possible earlier. This quick turnaround, and we're putting our paper, which is heard by the highest authority in this country, we being a Korean fund house, is incredible for us to see. So we look at Gift City as in a very incredible way through marketing the India story through our 17 offices, and also as a platform to give you the opportunity to get some incredible stories globally, because if the global market is 96%, there is a reason for global investing also. That's our thought. The other part which was very special about us is we are the first offshoot of our parent to have an offshore branch. Normally, India is an offshore branch for Seoul, but Dubai is an offshore branch for an offshore unit of Mirae Assets. Very special for us when you open Dubai. We feel the next decade belongs to the Mideast for whatever reasons, be it geopolitical or their want to do business. The ability of the Mideast to attract not only business but growth in the next decade will be ahead of a lot of places in the world, and one has to participate in that story is our view. Then, of course, the real estate story unfolded. There's a reason why I'm telling you this. I'll wind it up to talk about our basic stand of outside in on India. Is we now are a fairly good startup in real estate. This is our first warehouse. We now have the second warehouse there with Amazon as a partner. And then came the big part of the business where our securities business came to India with initial capital of 1950 crores. Then we added 1250 crores, and that is capitalized now at 3,190 crores. If we are talking about money coming to India in the form of investors, we are talking about our own company, and we are just a standalone financial arm, let me tell you. 3,190 crores is what our securities firm is capitalized at. It is the largest capitalized unit, global unit in the country. That's how we view this country, and that's how we look at our future in this country. We started with M-Stock, and now we are in the process of acquiring a physical broker. Once that happens, that part of the business will look substantial, and watch this space in capitalization. I know I'm sandwiched between two large players in my presentation. We have SBI and we have Bajaj after me, but our aspiration is to be the largest capitalized entity, financial entity in India. That's our view. Our total capital in Seoul is around 8 billion, out of which in the next 4 years, and that's what I promised the Prime Minister of the country, watch our capitalization. In the next 4 years, we want to capitalize this unit at 3 billion. That's, when you look at commitment of view of a foreigner of India, out of 8 billion, If one is transferring 3 billion to this country, I need not say anything more about what we feel of the future of this country. Why do we feel that way? Before we go there, of course, there's the foundation, which during COVID, we vaccinated some 13,000 people in India. In Mumbai, at the peak when the vaccines were not available, we flew them down from Korea. It's been a very humbling experience for me because it was done. This 15,000 Amit was raised by our partners in Mumbai, most of them mutual fund partners. We didn't advertise. We asked them to send them people, and 15,000 people were lapped up by just our industry. All by our industry and our partners. It was a very interesting experience. And you will watch this space grow. Then comes the third phase, and here we get into talking about why India at 3 billion for us. Because this is the story. All of you know that globally, 60% of world population under 30 is in India. 60%. So the India in the next 10 years will not have any correlation to the India so far. The demography will change just like this. And some of the data points which DP was giving on the way transactions are happening and the way people are buying money is going to change rapidly. It has already changed. It has changed in other industries. We will just see that happening in our industry. When you look at median age, and that's something for all of us to see, is that in 2035, our median age will be 33, China will be 45, UK will be 50, Japan will be 52, USA will be 41. It will be only Indians who can work in the world from here on. It's great that China stopped producing people. Suddenly the shift to this demographic dividend is shifted to India. Along with that, the corporate tax has come along with the world. And most important, our wage bill post-COVID is now better than China, Malaysia, including Philippines and Vietnam. A lot of manufacturing used to happen there. This is the backdrop on which one takes a futuristic call on India. Next 10, 15 years is when this data will start unfolding, and in your minds, put a view on that data points, please, because what used to look in 2005 on the wealth as a pyramid started looking like me a bit in 2018, a little bulge in the tummy. Suddenly, 69% of our population, which was poor, got down to 43%, and the tummy started growing. The middle class seriously started taking shape. In as quickly as 2030, it's going to look like this. I hope I don't look like this. This is going to be serious wealth now in India. What used to be 69% poor in 2005 will be reduced to just 15% in 2030. And when money comes to India, everything changes. When money comes to people, everything changes. And hence, just 1 minute, hence, what we will see is an explosion from consumption to investing across. It's already beginning to happen. Today, when you look at this city or across the country, I challenge anybody to give me a Rolex watch today. Rolex. Buy me a Rolex today. I will buy it yesterday. You will not give me a Rolex watch in my name today. That's India. And that's just beginning because this part is getting serious. And when money comes, people tend to fulfill their fantasies first and then go to the needs. So the consumption explosion that will happen from India being a low and mid-level consumer to a mid and high-level consumer is just already beginning to happen. Look at this hall. Look at this hotel. We have now 4 hotels like this in Pune and all going full. Come in the evening to the restaurants. I've come to some of them. All of them ask me, do you have a booking? And I said, boss, kaun booking mangta hai 5-star mein? But you need a booking, right? But from our side, there is, I think Amit really alluded to this very well. There is only one rule to this business. What is right for the client is right for us. And you build your business completely around that fact that what is right for the client has to be right for us. So the future of India looks a little different. It's now a young country. The economic status is dramatically different. The risk-taking ability obviously then changes when money is a little higher. Hence, the product offerings will start getting different. It is now a very differentiated product game from here on. And that's something which will reflect, because some people, like DP said, will stick to the benchmark, would like to own the market. Some will go a little higher than that. We'll look at some sort of strategy from our side. From here on, it'll be very interesting as an asset manager to display the active alpha generating talent that we have versus the factor formation or factor strategies that we can display. At Mirae Asset, we have no ambiguity internally. Let the best product win. We are product manufacturers. What is suitable for you will be chosen by Sapient for you. Our job is to give you a good product. But we will see both rule-based and expertise unfolding in India. At the top, there is a possibility that more than human expertise, AI will take over. We just hired our head of AI last week, and we will form an AI business going forward. What I feel is that our products till now are here. In the next decade, we will see a slightly shift of risk profile to the other side, because the risk-taking potential of all of you is changing, because the money involved is changing. And that's where is the future. And looking at the future, we build businesses for the future. We will be the house for creating benchmarks for Mirae Asset globally. That's what we will do, not only for our India business, but globally. It will create benchmarks for the world. Just speaks of what Mirae Asset feels about the Indian acumen vis-a-vis the world. Creating an index is a very, very intense job, because you can do a lot of back testing, but the day the index is in the market is the future world. I feel running the active business is very passive. Running the passive business is extremely active. Sorry, Nimish, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's my view of running this passive. It's a very intense business, but creating an index requires a different acumen. Even the sales guys are Python proficient, let me tell you, in that business. So we create the index business to be the back end of our all businesses. We become, as we start becoming the mid and back office of Mirae Asset Global for India. And that's part of the 3 billion that will come to India. The last part is we want to be the hub of AI business for Mirae Asset. And that's the mandate from the head office, to be the AI hub for Mirae Asset Global. That's the focus of Mirae Asset in India. Now, it does read the word mandate, but in our internal thing, it's a diktat. All our countries have been dictated to run India funds at this moment. All of them run India funds. That's how we view India for the next decade. The data points were given both by Amit and by DP, and it's a reality for us. We continue to grow our AUM as we speak. All the verticals will start unfolding in India. And when you look at us from a head office perspective, if you come to our sole office, that is the clock that you will see when you come in. Because the clock has no hands. Because we believe there is nothing called investing in the short term. And in the last 16 years, we've demonstrated that if you do your business right, the outcome cannot go wrong in this country. It is the country which will happen or will take center stage in the next 10 years. At Mirae Asset, as a global fund house, we don't want to miss this opportunity, number one. We want to participate in a big way in this opportunity, and more important, create a very sustainable business which will no longer be small in the global framework, but will be substantial in our Mirae Asset global balance sheet. That's how we view India. It is an incredibly aggressive call. We believe in this geopolitical mess of the world, there is only one winner, and that is India. On the 28th of December, I was in a hall of 200 people in Seoul. In Seoul, the Four Seasons is owned by us. We own Four Seasons globally. There were 199 Koreans, and there was one non-Korean. The acknowledgement of the Indian acumen, and I'm so proud to say this, that in Mirae Asset, we are considered number one on acumen. So that's our view, an extremely bullish view, and that I think is an understatement. We recognize this country as it is. I hope and pray that all of you recognize the potential. Please understand, I'll just end that, for a business as an individual, there is a risk to investing, there is a risk to not investing. There is a risk to investing in equity, there is a risk to not investing in equity. At this moment, in India, there is to not investing in India equity is substantially large. Please understand that as we stand in this country, we're talking about probably the best 10 years of India to come. And make India yours. The best way to own this growth is through the capital markets. I wish you happy investing and thank you so much for this opportunity. Really a pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Mr. Amit Bivalkar, Mr. Santosh Marathe and Mr. Amir Sapre to please come up on stage and felicitate Mr. Swarup Mohanti.
Appreciate your insightful words and important time, Mr. Mohanti. Thank you. This is an absolute pleasure for me to have the honor of introducing our next guest, Mr. Nimish Chandan. With 22 years of rich experience investing in Indian capital markets, Mr. Nimish Chandan is an experienced financial professional. He has proven track record of managing finances and offering advice to domestic and foreign institutional retail clients. He has throughout the years created an investment process that uses behavioral, analytical, and informational edge to produce alpha. During his 17 years in the mutual fund business, he has managed products with diversified market capitalization and themes and has also created methods for asset allocation, quantitative investing, and sustainable investing. Mr. Nimish has been writing and educating the financial community about the importance of psychology in investment decision-making. Being an avid follower of behavioral finance, he has created a system of procedures and instruments that lessen behavioral errors and aid in comprehending the behavior of the masses or the market. May I request Mr. Nimish Chandan to please step up to the dais and share his insights on investor behavior and markets with us.
Good evening. Namaskar. Generally, when I go to seminars, speech के timing पे, there are two slots that I hate. एक है after lunch, जिसे famously कहा जाता है graveyard shift. And second is this slot, जब मैं आपके और ड्रिंक्स और डिनर के बीच में खड़ा हूँ. And today my job is even tougher क्योंकि I'm following Swarup ji, who gave a fantastic presentation. I'll try कि मैं अपने समय पे ये presentation complete कर लूँ and hope कि आपको इसमें कुछ interesting ideas मिलें for improving your wealth creation journey. I would start with also thanking Sapient कि उन्होंने मुझे opportunity दी यहाँ पे आके आप सबके साथ ये presentation देने में and बात करने में. मेरा जो topic है investor behavior and market behavior, ये बजाज फिनसर्व एसेट मैनेजमेंट, बजाज म्यूचुअल फंड के लिए बहुत ही important topic है. हमने जितने भी processes, products बनाए हैं, उसमें हम इन्वेस्टमेंट साइकोलॉजी, इन्वेस्टमेंट बिहेवियर को बहुत वेट देते हैं. और मैं कुछ आइडियाज़, कुछ सजेशंस इसमें दूंगा इस प्रेजेंटेशन में, जो हमारी इन्वेस्टमेंट टीम तो फॉलो करती ही है, बट वी ऑल्सो हेल्प के टू टॉक मोर अबाउट इट, टू राइट अबाउट इट, ताकि जो कॉमन मिस्टेक्स होती हैं इन्वेस्टर्स से वो ना हो। लेट मी स्टार्ट विथ अ स्मॉल स्टोरी। आप में से काफ़ी लोगों को पता होगा, एक वेरी फेमस साइंटिस्ट नेम मैक्स प्लैंक, जर्मन साइंटिस्ट, फादर ऑफ क्वांटम फिजिक्स, नोबेल प्राइज विनर। आज हम एटॉमिक, सब एटॉमिक लेवल पे जो डिस्कशंस करते हैं उनमें उनका काफ़ी योगदान रहा है। एक बार मैक्स प्लैंक एक गेट टुगेदर में, एक पार्टी में मिले तब के बेस्ट इकोनॉमिस्ट जॉन मेनार्ड केन्स से, और मैक्स प्लैंक ने उन्हें कहा बातों बातों में कि यू नो केन्स, जब मैं स्टूडेंट था तब मैंने सोचा इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ना चाहिए। तो केन्स ने कहा, अरे सर, तो फिर आपने क्यों नहीं किया? अगर आप जैसे व्यक्ति इकोनॉमिक्स में आते तो हमारी प्रोग्रेस और तेजी से होती और ज्यादा होती। तो मैक्स प्लैंक ने कहा, नहीं यार, बहुत टफ था। अब जॉन केन्स सोचने लगे कि जो आदमी इतने साइंटिफिक कैलकुलेशंस इजीली कर लेते हैं, एक नए साइंस को उन्होंने बर्थ दिया है, इकोनॉमिक्स टेक्स्ट बुक्स तो शायद वो एक रात में कंप्लीट कर लेंगे, उनको इकोनॉमिक्स में क्या टफ लग रहा है? तो जवाब ये था कि फिजिक्स में आप उन चीजों के साथ डील कर रहे हो जो आपके सामने इमोशनली रिएक्ट नहीं करती, बट इकोनॉमिक्स में आप उन सब्जेक्ट्स के साथ डील कर रहे हो जो इमोशनली रिएक्ट करते हैं। इकोनॉमिक्स, फाइनेंस, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इन्वेस्टमेंट इज सिंपल। इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है? नीचे में लेना, ऊपर में बेचना है, कितना टफ है? बट इट इज नॉट इजी, क्योंकि जब जब मनी, वेल्थ, फ्यूचर, रिटायरमेंट की बात आती है तो बहुत सारे इमोशंस आ जाते हैं, एंड उन इमोशंस से इन्वेस्टिंग बिकम्स क्वाइट टफ। लेट मी स्टार्ट विथ अ फ्यू पर्सनैलिटीज जिन्होंने इन्वेस्टमेंट फील्ड को बहुत सारा कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया है इन टर्म्स ऑफ आइडियाज। पहले ये जो हैं हैरी मार्कोविट्स हैं। हैरी मार्कोविट्स इज द रीजन कि आज हम किसी को भी MBA स्कूल में अगर किसी को पूछो कि भाई रिस्क क्या होता है, तो इमीडिएटली आंसर निकलेगा वॉलेटिलिटी, या कोई बोलेगा शायद उसको इन अ मोर साइंटिफिक लैंग्वेज कि स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन इज द रिस्क। अब 1952 में हैरी मार्कोविट्स 25 साल के थे। वो वेट कर रहे थे अपने प्रोफेसर को मिलने के लिए, उनको पूछने के लिए कि मैं कौन से सब्जेक्ट में PhD करूं। तब मार्कोविट्स जो थे लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग के स्टूडेंट थे, वो इकोनॉमिक स्टूडेंट नहीं थे। लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग तो आप जानते होंगे, मुझे थोड़ा सा समझ में आता है कि दो वेरिएबल्स के बीच में रिलेशनशिप निकालनी है। तो वेट कर रहे थे अपने प्रोफेसर को मिलने के लिए, डीन को मिलने के लिए। वहां पे एक स्टॉक ब्रोकर आए, उनसे बात करने लगे। उन्होंने कहा, बेटा क्या करते हो? तो उन्होंने बोला, लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग कर रहा हूँ। अरे तो स्टॉक मार्केट पे क्यों नहीं करते? तो हैरी मार्कोविट्स ने कहा, मुझे स्टॉक मार्केट के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता। तो इसमें ब्रोकर ने कहा, इसमें क्या जानना है, बहुत इजी है, तो तुम भी रिस्क रिटर्न बनाओ, स्टॉक मार्केट पे कैसे बनता है। तो डीन आए, उन्होंने भी कहा ये प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा है। तो मार्कोविट्स जो 25 साल के थे, जिनको मार्केट्स के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता था, उन्होंने रिस्क रिटर्न की चार्ट बनाई, और उसमें उन्होंने रिटर्न तो ऑब्वियसली स्टॉक में पैसे बने, प्रॉफिट हुआ, ये रिटर्न है। रिस्क उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा था क्या लें, तब तो इंडेक्स भी नहीं था, S&P इंडेक्स उसके बाद आया 1957 में। तो फॉर कन्वीनियंस से उन्होंने ले लिया वॉलेटिलिटी इज द रिस्क, और फिर उनको नोबेल प्राइज मिल गया। अब उनके बाद हर कोई रिस्क रिटर्न में वॉलेटिलिटी एंड प्रॉफिट्स को लगा के सारे एसेट क्लासेस को उसमें मेजर करने लगे, फिर एफिशिएंसी कर्व्स एंड आने लगे। उनके बाद 4 लोगों को उनमें नोबेल प्राइज मिल गए। हैरी मार्कोविट्स को नोबेल प्राइज मिलने के बाद एक जर्नलिस्ट ने पूछा, सर अब तो आप हर एसेट का रिस्क रिटर्न जानते हो, तो आप अपना पर्सनल इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे करते हैं? तो हैरी मार्कोविट्ज ने कहा मैं 50-50 करता हूं भाई, बिटवीन इक्विटी एंड फिक्स्ड इनकम। पूछा क्यों? अरे यार, अगर इक्विटी मार्केट भाग गया एंड आई एम नॉट इन्वेस्टेड तो मुझे रिग्रेट रहेगा, ये क्या मैंने मिस कर दिया रैली। और अगर इक्विटी मार्केट कंप्लीटली क्रैश हो गया तो मैं सो नहीं पाऊंगा रात को अगर फुल्ली इन्वेस्टेड हूं तो मैं 50-50 ही करता हूं। दिस इज द पर्सन हु हैज गिवन अस वॉलेटिलिटी इज risk. One of the famous economists and one of the famous professors at Yale University, again Nobel Prize winner, Irving Fisher. Irving Fisher ने इकोनॉमिक्स में बहुत सारा कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया है, बहुत सारी थियरीज है उनका, it's immeasurable, one of the best economists of his time. उन्होंने एक बार कहा कि मैंने स्टॉक मार्केट स्टडी की है, अब ये स्टॉक्स जो है ना ये यही वैल्यूएशन पे रहेंगे या ऊपर जाते रहेंगे, दे विल कीप गोइंग अप, ये और नीचे एक प्लेटो बन गई, इससे नीचे नहीं आएंगे वैल्यूएशन। अनफॉर्चुनेटली फॉर हिम, इनका ये स्टेटमेंट 1929 के ग्रेट क्रैश के जस्ट 3 दिन पहले आया। आगे चलते हैं, इनका शायद आप इनको पहचानेंगे नहीं, लेकिन आपके लाइफ में इनका बहुत कंट्रीब्यूशन है। मायरन शोल्स, आपने कभी किसी ने सुना होगा, कुछ इंटेलिजेंट पीपल जो होंगे यहाँ पे उन्होंने सुना होगा ऑप्शन प्राइसिंग, ब्लैक एंड शोल्स मॉडल, और बाकी जो लकी हैं उन्होंने नहीं सुना है। तो मायरन शोल्स ने हमें ऑप्शन प्राइसिंग के लिए फॉर्मूला दिया है। वो एक को फाउंडर भी रहे हैं एक हेज फंड के, लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल मैनेजमेंट, एंड उन्होंने उसमें बहुत पैसे गवाए। ही इज ऑल्सो अ नोबेल प्राइज विनर। इन सब में गलती क्या थी? गलती ये की है कि उन्होंने ह्यूमन बिहेवियर को रैशनल अज्यूम करके सारी थियरीज उसमें बनाई कि ये बस मार्केट्स आर परफेक्ट, ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर परफेक्ट, वो जानते हैं कब लेना है कब बेचना है। पैसा किसने बनाया? ये तो नोबेल प्राइज विनर है। जब 1952 में हैरी मार्कोविट्ज अपने सर के पास बैठे थे पूछने के लिए कि मैं पीएचडी कौन सी करूं, दूसरी तरफ वॉरेन बफे के जो गुरु हैं बेंजामिन ग्राहम, वो एक बुक लिख रहे थे द इंटेलिजेंट इन्वेस्टर। उस इंटेलिजेंट इन्वेस्टर में इंट्रोडक्शन में उन्होंने लिखा है कि इन दिस बुक वील बी टॉकिंग अ लॉट अबाउट द साइकोलॉजी ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स बिकॉज द चीफ एनिमी ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर इज लाइकली टू बी हिमसेल्फ। द होल बुक, इंटेलिजेंट इन्वेस्टर सारे फंड मैनेजर एनालिस्ट अपने गीता बाइबल मानते हैं, अगर उनको पूछो कि उसमें वैल्यूएशन का फॉर्मूला क्या दिया है, कुछ नहीं दिया, तो फिर ये बुक इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है? रादर देन गिविंग के फॉर्मूला क्या है इन्वेस्टमेंट का, उन्होंने दिया कि इन्वेस्टमेंट के बारे में सोचा कैसे जाए। दूसरे जॉर्ज सोरोस, इनके मैं पॉलिटिकल व्यूज के बारे में बात नहीं करूंगा। 1987 में जॉर्ज सोरोस ने एक बुक लिखी एल्केमी ऑफ फाइनेंस। वो एक इकोनॉमिक्स के स्टूडेंट थे। उन्होंने उस बुक में लिखा है कि मैं इकोनॉमिक क्लास में जाता था, मुझे कहा जाता था कि डिमांड कब है, ये सप्लाई कब है, यहाँ मैच होते हैं तो प्राइस होती है। एंड जब मैं कोई इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन पूछता था तो बोलते थे ये तो हमने अजम्पशन ले लिया है कि ये तो लोग रैशनल हैं, मार्केट्स परफेक्ट हैं सब। उन्होंने कहा कि अगर ज्योमेट्री में भी ऑल द एंगल्स ऑफ अ ट्रायंगल डोंट एड अप टू 180 डिग्रीज, तो फिर ज्योमेट्रिक थियरी उसके ऊपर कैसे बनेगी? अगेन मेड लॉट ऑफ मनी इन द मार्केट्स। एंड ऑब्वियसली कोई डिस्कशन वॉरेन बफे के बिना तो खत्म नहीं हो सकता। ही इज फेमस फॉर सेइंग बी ग्रीडी व्हेन अदर्स आर fearful एंड fearful व्हेन अदर्स आर ग्रीडी। जो सक्सेसफुल इन्वेस्टर्स रहे हैं उनमें आप देखेंगे एक कॉमन थ्रेड है दैट they were able to control their emotions or they were better managing their behavior than the crowd. तो आज मैं आपको कुछ क्राउड के जो बायसेस हैं, कुछ इंडिविजुअल बायसेस है बताऊंगा। आप तो जानते ही हैं एज अ क्राउड पीपल मूव बिटवीन ग्रीड एंड फियर बेस्ड ऑन नैरेटिव, स्टोरीज, न्यूज जो आती रहती है। प्लस स्पेशली आजकल कुछ ज्यादा हो गया है कि लॉन्ग टर्म अभी 1 मंथ हो गया है, लोग शॉर्ट टर्म में ट्रेड करते रहते हैं। The first statement is from the largest online broking house in the country. Okay, only 1% or less than that make FD returns, their traders. In FNO, SEBI की report आई थी last year, 89% of the people are making losses in FNO. And mutual funds में भी, Morningstar की एक report है कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स में भी बाय एंड सेल चर्न करने की वजह से इन्वेस्टर्स के जो एवरेज रिटर्न है वो उस फंड, उस एसेट क्लास से एक्चुअली कम बन रहे हैं। लेट मी कम टू सम वेरी कॉमन इंडिविजुअल बायसेस, और उसके बाद कुछ मैं आपको मार्केट के बायसेस और स्टाइल्स बताऊंगा, एंड होपफुली एट द एंड देयर विल बी सम टाइम वेयर आई कैन टेल यू कि क्या सॉल्यूशंस हो सकते हैं इसके। सबसे कॉमन बायस मार्केट का ये पिक्चर है एक ग्रीक स्टोरी में से। एथेंस एंड यूलिसिस के बीच जो सिटीज हैं उनके बीच में एक होली पाथ रहा करता था, काफी ट्रैवलर्स वहां से जाते थे। प्रोकस्टस नाम का ये व्यक्ति वहां रहता था, एंड आपने कभी कभी वो फ्रेज सुना होगा, द प्रोकस्टियन बेड। प्रोकस्टस वहां पे लोगों को इनवाइट करता था कि आप थके हो ट्रैवलर्स तो आप मेरे पास आ जाओ, मेरे यहाँ आप खाना खाइए पिए, और मेरे पास एक कंफर्टेबल बेड है, वहां पे आप थोड़ा आराम कीजिए और फिर आगे बढ़िए। तो लॉट ऑफ टूरिस्ट यूज्ड टू कम टू हिम, वो खिलाता पिलाता था उनको, फिर उनको वो बेड के पास लेके जाता था। अच्छा, वहां पे प्रोकस्टस यूज्ड टू शो हिज ट्रू कलर्स। अगर टूरिस्ट जो है वो बेड से टॉल होते थे तो वो उनके पांव और उनकी गर्दन काट देते थे उनको फिट करने के लिए बेड पे, और अगर शॉर्ट होते थे तो उनके हाथ पांव को स्ट्रेच करके वो बेड में फिट करने की कोशिश करते थे। इन बोथ केसेस लोग मर जाते थे। अब ये स्टोरी कि लाइक यू नो किसी चीज को फिट करना, हम सबके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा है। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं मर्डरर इंस्टिंक्ट है, बट हमारे अंदर प्रोकस्टस कैसा है? हमारे अंदर प्रोकस्टस ये कि हम एक व्यू बना लेते हैं और फिर वही डेटा चुनते हैं जो वो बेड में फिट हो जाए, और अगर वो फिट नहीं हो रहा है तो उसे नकार देते हैं। So many times our emotions are such कि we like to meet people जो हमसे अग्री करते हैं, जो सेम व्यू रखते हैं हमारे जैसे, और जो किसी के पास ऑपोजिट व्यू है। हमने एक इन्वेस्टमेंट की और किसी ने गलत कह दिया कि नहीं ये तो आप गलत कर रहे हो, इसमें बहुत रिस्क है, तो हम उन्हें मिलना पसंद नहीं करते, इनफैक्ट रिस्क जानना भी पसंद नहीं करते। तो कंफर्मेशन बायस, whether you like it or no, is somewhere hidden in all of us. It is about gathering only those data points जो हमें अच्छा लगे कि हमने इन्वेस्ट किया है तो हम अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें उसके बारे में पढ़ें, एंड उससे एक प्रॉब्लम भी होती है, बिकॉज यू आर लुकिंग एट ओनली द गुड थिंग्स और आप रिस्क नहीं देख रहे हो, तो मैनी अ टाइम्स योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स टर्न इनटू लॉसेस। अच्छा ठीक है, लॉस हो गया, अनफॉर्चुनेटली बिकॉज ऑफ कंफर्मेशन बायस हम उससे सीखते भी नहीं है। There is another aspect or the other side of the coin called cognitive dissonance, कि हमारे दिमाग में एक आइडिया बैठ गई उसके बाद दूसरी आइडिया, ऑपोजिट आइडिया नहीं बैठ सकती, तो हम लक को ब्लेम कर देते हैं कि नहीं ये तो मैं तो ठीक ही था, तो लक है। जैसे मैंने आपके अर्विंग फिशर के बारे में बताया, अर्विंग फिशर स्पेंड 2-3 years टेलिंग द होल वर्ल्ड कि ही वाज राइट एंड द होल मार्केट वाज रॉन्ग। बाय द वे अर्विंग फिशर ने बाद में एवरेज भी किया था और ही लॉस्ट हिज हाउस इन द फॉल। तो कंफर्मेशन बायस इज वन। लेट्स कम टू द सेकेंड मोस्ट कॉमन बायस। ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग एक एक्सपेरिमेंट किया है साइकोलॉजिस्ट पॉल श्लोविक ने। पॉल श्लोविक ने हॉर्स रेसिंग एक्सपर्ट्स को जमा किया, हॉर्स रेसिंग हैंडीकैपर्स जो बोलते हैं, जो हॉर्स रेस में घोड़े और जॉकी के ऑड्स बताते हैं कि ये चांसेस क्या हैं जीतने के हारने के इनके। तो पॉल श्लोविक ने उनको कहा कि मैंने पिछले 20-30 सालों की हॉर्स रेसेस का डेटा जमा किया है, हर हॉर्स और जॉकी के बारे में मैंने 88 डेटा पॉइंट जमा किए हैं, पर हॉर्स पर रेस। मैं कुछ पुरानी हॉर्स रेसेस प्ले करूंगा आपके सामने और आपको बताना है कि इसमें कौन सा हॉर्स जीतेगा। हाँ, उसके पहले आपको इन 88 डेटा पॉइंट्स में से राउंड 1 के लिए आपको कोई भी 5 डेटा पॉइंट चाहिए, आप चुन लीजिए उसमें से, जिससे आप अपना डिसीजन ले पाए। तो हर एक्सपर्ट ने जो उनको ठीक लग रहे थे 5 डेटा पॉइंट्स वो निकाले। उनको कहा मुझे ये डेटा पॉइंट, तो मे बी जॉकी का वेट क्या है, घोड़े की लास्ट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड क्या है, वो सब मुझे बताओ। तो उन्हें 5 डेटा पॉइंट लिए और अनुमान लगाया कि इन रेसेस में ये हॉर्स जीतेंगे। फिर उनको पूछा गया बिफोर द रिजल्ट कि आपको क्या लगता है कि आप कितने कॉन्फिडेंट हो कि आपका आंसर राइट रहेगा। द एवरेज कॉन्फिडेंस वॉज 19%, यानी 1 आउट ऑफ 5 रेसेस तो मैं सच बता ही दूंगा, मेरा आंसर ठीक ही होगा, 1 आउट ऑफ 5। एक्यूरेसी कितनी थी? आंसर देखे तो पता चला एवरेज एक्यूरेसी वॉज 17%। एक्चुअली दिस इज वेरी वेल कैलिब्रेटेड, 19% कॉन्फिडेंट एंड 17% एक्यूरेट, वेरी क्लोज बाय। अब उनको सेकेंड राउंड में कहा गया कि इंस्टेड ऑफ 5 डेटा पॉइंट्स आप 10 डेटा पॉइंट्स ले सकते हो, थर्ड राउंड में 20 डेटा पॉइंट्स, एंड फोर्थ राउंड में 40 डेटा पॉइंट्स आउट ऑफ 88 आप ले सकते हो टू मेक योर जजमेंट। ऑब्वियसली सब लोगों ने फटाफट वो पॉइंट्स लिए, खुश होके एस्टिमेट्स बनाए। उनको पूछा गया इस बार आप कितने कॉन्फिडेंट हो? एवरेज कॉन्फिडेंस वाज 45%, और जब रिजल्ट देखे गए एक्यूरेसी कितनी थी? 17%। ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन डेटा लेने के बाद सिर्फ कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ा, एक्यूरेसी नहीं बढ़ी। बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट इंफॉर्मेशन या डेटा जस्ट आप कलेक्ट करते जा रहे हो, उससे सिर्फ कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ता है, आप ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हो जाते हो, एंड दैट इज अनदर बिग मिस्टेक दैट पीपल मेक। पीपल आर एक्सट्रीमली ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट। अगर स्टॉक मार्केट्स या कोई भी मार्केट आप देखिए, अगर आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल बहुत हाई है और आपकी एक्यूरेसी बहुत लो है, दैट इज द फास्टेस्ट वे ऑफ मेकिंग लूजिंग मनी। तो ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस में पीपल ट्राई टू टाइम द मार्केट, पीपल फील कि नहीं मैं जो कर रहा हूँ वही सही है, टारगेट प्राइस भी मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ वो सही है। उनकी एक्यूरेसी इतनी नहीं होती, बट दे आर ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट इट। तेजी मार्केट में काफी लोगों के पैसे बन जाते हैं, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस इज फेड इनटू, अल्टीमेटली जब मार्केट करेक्शन लेता है या फॉल आती है, पीपल लूज मनी देयर। हाँ, यू हैव टू बी वेल कैलिब्रेटेड। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कॉन्फिडेंस ना रखें। अगर आपने पूरी रिसर्च की है और आप कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हो तो भी आप पैसे नहीं बनाएंगे, क्योंकि आप साइडलाइंस पे बैठे रहेंगे। तो इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी वेल कैलिब्रेटेड। ये एक छोटा सा मैंने बनाया है सब्सक्रिप्शन, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स पे एक स्कीम निकाली है मैंने। तो इनमें से आपको चुनना है कि अगर आप सब्सक्राइब करेंगे इस न्यूज़पेपर को तो आप कौन सी स्कीम लेंगे। फर्स्ट ऑफर है कि अगर आप ऑनलाइन सब्सक्रिप्शन ले रहे हो तो उसके 900 रुपए हैं, 900 रुपीज फॉर द ईयर। अगर आपको प्रिंट सब्सक्रिप्शन लेना है जो आपके घर पे डिलीवर हो तो 1800 रुपए हैं उसके, और ऑनलाइन और प्रिंट सब्सक्रिप्शन के 1800 रुपए। बाय जस्ट क्विकली शो ऑफ हैंड्स, हु विल टेक ऑप्शन 1? देखो इसलिए मुझे शिफ्ट अच्छी नहीं लगती। ओके, अबाउट 30% of the people. Who will take the only print subscription? Another 15-20%. Okay. Who will take the last option of print and online both? Okay, 60-70% on that. Okay. This is actually a real case that was done by Economist magazine. इसका जो डेटा है वो कलेक्ट किया था एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट डैन एरेली ने। इकोनॉमिस्ट मैगजीन के ये ऑफर्स थे। ऑनलाइन सब्सक्रिप्शन वाज फॉर $59, प्रिंट सब्सक्रिप्शन फॉर $125, एंड ऑनलाइन एंड प्रिंट सब्सक्रिप्शन टुगेदर फॉर $125। एक एक्सपेरिमेंट में लोगों को पूछा गया कि आप क्या सब्सक्राइब करोगे, एंड दिस वाज द चॉइस। लगभग जैसे यहाँ पे रही है, ऑल्दो द सेकेंड ऑप्शन नोबडी टुक, पीपल सेड वी डोंट वांट द सेकेंड ऑप्शन, ओनली प्रिंट ऑप्शन। अब यूजलेस ऑप्शन है, सेकंड ऑप्शन कोई ले ही नहीं रहा है, यूजलेस ऑप्शन है, निकाल देते हैं। अब ये यूजलेस ऑप्शन निकल गया, उसके वजह से डू यू थिंक पीपल्स चॉइसेस विल चेंज? दे डिड चेंज। नाउ सडनली 68% took the first option. कमाल है, जो ऑप्शन कोई नहीं ले रहा था, यूजलेस ऑप्शन है, उसने इतने मेजॉरिटी लोगों का ओपिनियन चेंज कर दिया। एंकरिंग, मेनी अ टाइम्स हम किसी एक चीज पे साइकोलॉजिकली एंकर हो जाते हैं और वो हमारे डिसीजंस चेंज कर देती है। एंकरिंग कोई भी इररिलेवेंट टॉपिक पे हो सकता है। आई टेल यू अनदर स्मॉल एक्सपेरिमेंट, डैन एरियली का ही है। उन्होंने लोगों को कहा कि आपके जो मोबाइल नंबर हैं उनके जो लास्ट 2 डिजिट हैं वो एक पेपर पे लिखिए। अब उन्होंने उन लोगों को 3-4 अलग अलग आइटम्स बताई। एक रेड वाइन, फ्रेंच वाइन की बॉटल थी, एक अरेबिका कॉफी का एक जार था, उसके साथ 1-2 और आइटम होंगी शायद, एक लैपटॉप एंड ऑल दैट। फिर उनको कहा कि आप ये जो आइटम्स हैं उनके पास आपका मोबाइल का जो ये लास्ट 2 डिजिट है वो लिखिए और वहां पे एक डॉलर साइन डाल दीजिए। तो समझिए किसी का नंबर हो लास्ट में 89, तो उन्होंने $89 चारों आइटम पे लगा दिए। किसी का लास्ट नंबर था 14, तो $14 लगा दिए। फिर उनको पूछा गया कि आप ये प्राइस पे करोगे कि नहीं इन आइटम्स का, तो यस नो हुआ। उसके बाद उनको कहा गया कि आप अब अपनी प्राइस लगाइए इन आइटम्स पे। आपको क्या लगता है कि आप इस वाइन की, इस कॉफी की कितनी प्राइस देंगे? सरप्राइजिंगली वो जो लास्ट 2 डिजिट हैं टेलीफोन के, उनके फोन नंबर के, और जो प्राइस वो पे करने वाले हैं, देयर वाज वेरी हाई कोरिलेशन। जिनके नंबर्स हायर साइड पे थे वो ज्यादा प्राइस पे करने के लिए रेडी हो गए, और जिनके नंबर्स कम थे वो कम प्राइस दे रहे थे। हाँ, उन्होंने आइटम्स भी ऐसी चूज की थी जो इजीली वैल्यू नहीं कर सकते, जैसे फ्रेंच रेड वाइन की बोतल। आप में से कुछ एक्सपर्ट्स होंगे, मुझे समझ में नहीं आता कि क्या प्राइस होनी चाहिए। इक्विटी वैल्यूएशंस मुझे थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आता है, बट मुझे पता है कि बहुत टफ है। इमेजिन लोग किस पे एंकर हो जाते हैं। और एक चीज, कॉस्ट प्राइस पे तो लोग एंकर हो ही जाते हैं। एक बार वन ऑफ द साइकोलॉजिस्ट वेंट टू अ स्टॉक ब्रोकर अपना पोर्टफोलियो लेके, और उन्होंने कहा कि ये स्टॉक्स है मेरे पास, ये क्वांटिटी है, आप बताओ कि मैं ये रखूं या बेचूं। तो स्टॉक ब्रोकर ने पूछा कि इसमें आपने क्या प्राइस पे, क्या कॉस्ट प्राइस है आपका, आपने नहीं लिखा। तो साइकोलॉजिस्ट ने पूछा क्यों? मैं किस प्राइस पे मैंने बाय किया हुआ है उससे स्टॉक का रिकमेंडेशन कैसे चेंज हो सकता है? बट हम सब जानते हैं होता है, करेक्ट? वी गेट एंकर्ड टू द कॉस्ट प्राइस। 52 वीक हाई लो तो और एंकर कर लेते हैं, अरे यार देख यार 1000 रुपया था 52 वीक हाई, अभी 800 में मिल रहा है। वी गेट एंकर्ड। वैल्यूएशन नहीं देख रहे हैं, भाव देख रहे हैं। और एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन, ओके? ये आपको हैंड्स रेज नहीं करने, बट सोचना है खुद। सपोज आई नो दिस ऑडियंस हैज, अमित जी जस्ट सेड के यहाँ पे लोग ने 5-10 करोड़ रुपए बहुत इजीली बनाए हैं, लेकिन मैं ये छोटा अमाउंट आपके पास डाल रहा हूं टू थिंक अबाउट कि अगर आपको 12 लाख रुपीस का कुछ तो लॉटरी या कुछ अवार्ड या कुछ इनहेरिटेंस लकीली मिल गया आपको, अब आपको सोचना है कि आप इसे कैसे स्पेंड करेंगे या इन्वेस्ट करेंगे। बट मैं आपको 3 अलग अलग सिनेरियोस दूंगा, उसमें आपको सोचना है कि वेदर आप कैसे स्पेंड करेंगे एंड इन्वेस्ट करेंगे। सपोज फर्स्ट केस में आपको ये money is immediately put into your bank account, 12 lakh rupees in your bank account right now. Think how you will spend, how you will invest, where you will invest, where you will spend. Second, suppose this money is given to you as 1 lakh rupees per month for 12 months. Immediately नहीं मिल रहा है, 12 months में मिल रहा है आपको. How will you spend and how will you save? Third, ये money जो है ना, ये already एक कुछ डिपॉजिट में लगाया हुआ है, वो तोड़ नहीं पा रहे हैं, लेकिन 5 साल बाद आपको यही पैसे मिलेंगे विथ इंटरेस्ट, विच मार्केट इंटरेस्ट, तो आपको कोई नुकसान नहीं होने वाला उसमें, यू विल गेट मार्केट इंटरेस्ट. नाउ थिंक अबाउट हाउ विल यू चेंज योर स्पेंडिंग एंड इन्वेस्टिंग हैबिट. फॉर मोस्ट पीपल तीनों केसेस में जवाब डिफरेंट होता है, बिकॉज पीपल ट्रीट द सेम मनी डिफरेंटली. अच्छा, आपने देखा होगा, इफ यू हैव गॉन टू अ कसिनो, कहीं पे गैम्बलिंग हाउस में या कुछ, गैम्बलर्स जो होते हैं अपनी जो प्रिंसिपल, जो खुद पैसे लेके आए हैं, वो एक पॉकेट में रखते हैं, और जो उनकी विनिंग्स होती है ना, दूसरे पॉकेट में रखते हैं. पैसे की वैल्यू सेम है, लेकिन मेंटल अकाउंट इज डिफरेंट. देयर इज अ वेरी नाइस सॉन्ग बाय केनी रॉजर्स, द गैम्बलर करके. उसमें वो एडवाइस देते हैं लोगों को कि नेवर काउंट योर मनी ऑन द टेबल, क्योंकि अगर आप काउंट करोगे तो आप फंस जाओगे. मैं बताता हूं क्यों आगे. अच्छा, अगेन अ क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज द वन थिंग यू विल नॉट फाइंड in a casino? Anyone? Clocks. Ah, superb. Fantastic. Yes, it is a clock. Any other guesses? एक और item भी है, शायद नहीं होती. Did somebody say windows? Yeah, perfect. So clocks and windows you know. क्योंकि वो नहीं चाहते कि गैम्बलर को पता चले कि बहुत टाइम हो गया है, बहुत समय हो गया है, या रात हो गया है, दिन हो गया है. Because nothing stops a gambler from gambling. अगर the gambler is winning, तो there is something called the house money effect आ जाता है. And if the gambler is losing, long shots आ जाते हैं. I'll tell you how. स्टॉक मार्केट में भी जो नए लोग आ रहे हैं, लास्ट 2020 से ट्रेड कर रहे हैं एवरी डे मार्केट में, अगर वो पैसा बनाते हैं तो क्या होता है? हाउस मनी इफेक्ट. हाँ, मेरे पैसे तो 10,000 रुपए में लेके आया था, बट अब मैंने 5,000 रुपए और बना लिए हैं, तो वो जो प्रॉफिट है उसको डिफरेंट मेंटल अकाउंट से ट्रीट करेंगे और उससे ज्यादा रिस्क लेंगे. अब आप कहेंगे यार प्रॉफिट से रिस्क ले रहा है, उसमें आप क्यों इतना गलत बोल रहे हो उसको? अरे बट ज्यादा रिस्क लेने से अगर पैसे चले गए तो वेल्थ क्रिएशन कैसे होगा? आप वही 10,000 रुपए एवरी डे लेके आओगे मार्केट में. You will not be able to create wealth. Those 5,000 rupees are important and should be respected. Carelessly नहीं. अच्छा, second, डैनियल कैनेमैन ने ये ऑब्जर्व किया कि जब हॉर्स रेसिंग में जाते हैं तो जो लास्ट की 1-2 रेसेस होती हैं उसमें ऐसे घोड़ों पे ज्यादा बेट लगता है जो शायद जीतने ही नहीं वाले. ऐसे घोड़े जो जीतने ही नहीं वाले, उनके ऑड्स बहुत ही हाई होते हैं. आई मीन उनके जो पे ऑफ्स होते हैं बहुत हाई होते हैं. आप $1 लगा दो, अगर ये जीत गया तो 100 मिलेंगे. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल जो पूरे दिन लॉसेस कर रहे हैं, अगर थोड़े पैसे बच गए वो ये सोचेंगे यार इस पे लगा देता हूं, अगर जीत गया ना तो पूरे दिन के निकल जाएंगे एक साथ. लॉन्ग शॉट्स. हम मेंटल अकाउंट जो है वो लॉस में क्लोज नहीं कर पाते. वी कैनॉट. हमें चाहिए कि हर मेंटल अकाउंट हम पॉजिटिवली क्लोज करें. इसलिए क्या होता है, देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड डिस्पोजिशन इफेक्ट. अगर मैंने 100 रुपए में स्टॉक लिया, 110 गया और बैड न्यूज, कुछ गलत न्यूज आ गई, कंपनी ने कुछ गड़बड़ की है, हम इमीडिएटली प्रॉफिट बुक कर लेंगे. अगर 100 रुपए में स्टॉक लिया है, 90 हो गया है, एंड देन कुछ बैड न्यूज आते हैं कि कंपनी ने कुछ गड़बड़ की है, हम वेट करेंगे. यार 100 आ जाए ना, निकल जाऊंगा मैं. राइट? तो डिस्पोजिशन इफेक्ट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कि हम एक मेंटल अकाउंट को क्लोज नहीं कर पा रहे लॉस में. प्रॉफिट में इजीली क्लोज कर लेंगे, मेंटल अकाउंट को लॉस में हम क्लोज नहीं कर पाते. संक कॉस्ट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यहां से आज हिंजेवाड़ी में सपोज एक बहुत अच्छा कॉन्सर्ट, कोई अच्छा आपका फेवरेट बैंड वहां पे परफॉर्म कर रहा है, लेकिन सोचिए कि आपको उसके टिकट्स भी मिले हैं, आपको किसी ने उसके फ्री टिकट्स दिए हुए हैं, मे बी 5,000 रुपीज के टिकट हैं. सेपिएंट ने आपको, उनके कस्टमर्स को ये फ्री टिकट्स दिए हुए हैं. अब आप घर से निकल रहे हैं तब पता चलता है कि अरे बहुत बारिश हो रही है, बहुत ट्रैफिक है, लोग कितने घंटों से वहां पे सड़क पे अटके हुए हैं, हिंजेवाड़ी तक जाना है. छोड़ो, नहीं जाते, फ्री की टिकट है, क्या नुकसान हुआ? नहीं चलता. अच्छा, अब दूसरा सिनेरियो, हिंजेवाड़ी में एक कॉन्सर्ट है, आपका फेवरेट बैंड है, आपने 5-5 हजार की 2 टिकटें ली हैं अपने और अपने स्पाउस के लिए. बारिश बहुत हो रही है, लोग घंटों ट्रैफिक में अटके हुए हैं. ट्राई करते हैं, जाना चाहिए. क्यों? वो 5,000 10,000 का लॉस हम लोग मेंटली क्लोज नहीं कर पाते, जबकि वो ऑलरेडी खर्च हो गए हैं. क्यों अपने आप को ज्यादा तकलीफ दे रहे हो जाने के लिए? उससे पैसे वापस नहीं आने वाले. दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी अगेन फ्रॉम ग्रीस. आपको पता होगा ग्रीस और ट्रॉय के बीच में एक बड़ा वॉर था, ट्रोजन हॉर्स भी उसमें यूज किया गया था फॉर द ग्रीक टू विन. एंड उसके जो मास्टरमाइंड थे ट्रोजन हॉर्स के, ओडिसियस, वो जब आफ्टर द वॉर रिटर्न हो रहे थे घर पे, उनका घर था इथाका में, ग्रीस में, तो उनको कहा गया, उनको वार्निंग दी कि भाई तू संभल के जाना, आप जिस रास्ते से जा रहे हो वहां पे एक आइलैंड आता है, आइलैंड ऑफ साइरेंस. तो बोट में जा रहे थे, उनको कहा गया था कि ये साइरेंस जो हैं ये ऐसे क्रीचर्स हैं, ये दे लुक लाइक विमेन, दे सिंग इन अ वेरी मेलोडियस वॉइस, आपको हिप्नोटाइज कर देंगे। सेलर्स पानी में कूद के उस आइलैंड की तरफ जाते हैं और वहां पे ये क्रीचर्स उनको मार के खा जाते हैं। अब ओडिसियस को ऑब्वियसली जान बचानी थी, बट उसे देखना भी था कि वेदर ये सच है या ऐसे ही ब्लफ है किसी का। तो उन्होंने प्रिपरेशन अच्छी की। उन्होंने अपने स्टाफ को कहा कि पहले तो मुझे शिप के मास्ट पे ऐसे बांध दो, और जब तक हम लोग वो आइलैंड क्रॉस ना करें तब तक मुझे खोलना मत, नो मैटर व्हाट आई से। और उनके जो बाकी सेलर्स हैं उनको कहा कि आप कान में बीज वैक्स डाल दीजिए ताकि आपको कुछ सुनाई ना दे, और तब निकालेंगे जब ये आइलैंड क्रॉस हो जाएगा। जैसे ही वो आइलैंड की तरफ से जा रहे थे, सायरेंस की मेलोडियस आवाज से एकदम हिप्नोटाइज हो गए, वो भी मेस्मराइज हो गए। वो चाहते थे कि मैं बस अभी पानी में कूद के वहां जाऊं, अपने रोप्स को तोड़ना चाहते थे लेकिन थैंकफुली तोड़ नहीं पाए, तो अपना होश गवा बैठे थे। आफ्टर दे क्रॉस बाय, थोड़ी देर बाद उनकी सेंसेस आई, फिर उन्होंने उनको अनवाइंड करके, आई मीन उनको ओपन करके उनके सेलर्स ने उनको बचा लिया। तो व्हाट वाज द सिचुएशन यहाँ पे? देयर इज अ हॉट स्टेट एंड अ कोल्ड स्टेट ऑफ पीपल। हम जब प्लानिंग करते हैं तो हॉट स्टेट, सॉरी कोल्ड स्टेट में होते हैं कि हाँ मैं ये करूंगा वो करूंगा। मैं आई थिंक आई एम द वर्ल्ड्स बेस्ट डाइटिशियन। मेरे पास इतने डाइट प्लान हैं आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे, मेरे पास पूरी फाइल पड़ी हुई है, लेकिन 1 किलो कम नहीं हुआ है मेरा। मैं प्लान अच्छे बना लेता हूँ। फिर मैं मैरियट में ऐसे लाइक कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए आता हूँ, फिर वहां पे अच्छा चॉकलेट पुडिंग केक पड़ा हुआ है, और मैं ये सोचता हूँ डाइट कहाँ भागा जा रहा है, कल भी तो हो सकता है। नाउ you guys think about a situation. Imagine आपने किसी को संडे घर पे बुलाया है डिनर के लिए। आप उसकी जो सामग्री है, जो खाना आप डिनर बनाने वाले हो, उसकी सामग्री है, उसकी शॉपिंग के लिए आप सैटरडे आफ्टरनून जा रहे हैं। एक बार सुबह से कुछ मत खाइए और फिर शॉपिंग के लिए जाइए। अच्छा, आप किसके नेक्स्ट डे डिनर की सामग्री ले रहे हैं, खाली पेट, यू विल बाय मोर, यू विल एंड अप बाइंग मोर। क्योंकि जब आपको भूख लगी हुई है, यू कैन नॉट इमेजिन कि मैं संडे इवनिंग एकदम फुल होगा मेरा पेट। अच्छा, एक बार जाइए यहाँ पे JW मैरियट में फुल एकदम लैविश 7 कोर्स मील लेके, यू विल रियलाइज कि आप कम खरीद रहे हो फूड फॉर नेक्स्ट डे डिनर। क्योंकि व्हेन यू आर फुल, योर माइंड कैन नॉट इमेजिन कि आप संडे इवनिंग यू विल बी स्टार्विंग। So this is the gap between your hot state and a cold state. Many a times that leads to bad investment decisions. We are good planners, we are bad doers, and लंबे लॉन्ग टर्म होराइजन के साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट। आज भी हम लोग इस इवनिंग में सब घर पे जाके सोच के आएंगे मैं तो बस लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर ही हूं, लेकिन देन यू गेट टेम्प्टेड व्हेन यू सी अदर पीपल मेकिंग, अरे इसने यार कल ही स्टॉक लिया था सर्किट पे, ले लेते हैं। मोनालिसा इन्फोटेक इतनी बुरी कंपनी नहीं हो सकती यार, नाम भी कितना अच्छा है। तो दैट इज द थिंग। चेंबूर में थी बाय द वे ये कंपनी, आजकल मिल नहीं रही है, कहां है। अगेन अ ग्रीक स्टोरी, पता नहीं मेरे पास बहुत सारी ग्रीक स्टोरीज हैं। सी, माइथोलॉजी में इंटरप्रिटेशन थोड़ी इधर उधर होती है, तो प्लीज एक्सक्यूज मी फॉर दैट। प्रोमीथियस करके एक डिवाइन बीइंग थे जिन्होंने अकॉर्डिंग टू ग्रीक पीपल उन्होंने मैनकाइंड बनाई, उन्होंने ह्यूमन काइंड बनाई, और ह्यूमन बीइंग्स उनको अपना हीरो मानते हैं, प्रोमीथियस को। अब वो ह्यूमन बीइंग से बहुत प्यार करते थे, तो तभी जो फायर विच वॉज द मेन एलिमेंट वॉज केप्ट विद द गॉड्स। तो जूस जो ग्रीक के सबसे बड़े गॉड हैं, वो अपने पास फायर रखते थे। प्रोमीथियस ने मैनकाइंड के भले के लिए वो फायर को चुरा के मैनकाइंड को दिया। अब जूस भड़क गए उस पर, बदला लेना चाहते थे, लेकिन प्रोमीथियस तभी मिल नहीं रहे थे कहीं। तो उन्होंने एक आइडिया की, उन्होंने एक लड़की क्रिएट की, पेंडोरा। पेंडोरा मीन्स ऑल गिफ्ट्स। तो बाकी जो गॉड्स थे उन्होंने अपनी बेस्ट गिफ्ट पेंडोरा को दी, ब्यूटी, विजडम, क्यूरियोसिटी, ऑल दैट उनको दी। फिर वो पेंडोरा को लेके प्रोमीथियस के भाई के पास गए, एपिमीथियस। आपको पता होगा हमारे यहाँ पे भी पहले नाम ऐसे ही होते थे, राम, लखन एंड ऑल दैट, राइट। सो प्रोमीथियस एंड एपिमीथियस। तो एपिमीथियस के पास गया, जूस ने कहा कि देखो मैं तुम्हारे लिए गिफ्ट लाया हूं, ये पेंडोरा है, इससे तुम शादी कर लो। एपिमेथियस भी उसको देख के एकदम खुश हो गया, अरे वाह इतनी ब्यूटीफुल लड़की, इतनी बेस्ट लड़की है ये तो यार, तो उन्होंने शादी कर ली। और जूस ने पेंडोरा को और एपिमेथियस को एक गिफ्ट दी, एक बॉक्स, एक्चुअली इट वाज अ जार, तो बॉक्स कहा जाता है उसे, तो बॉक्स दिया और कहा कि देखो मैं बताऊंगा नहीं इसमें क्या है, लेकिन प्लीज खोलना मत इसको। अब आप किसी को ऐसे दे दो और उस आदमी में या उस लड़की में क्यूरियोसिटी भी भरी है आपने, तो कभी ना कभी तो बॉक्स खोलना ही है। तो आफ्टर अ लॉट ऑफ रेजिस्टिंग, पेंडोरा सेड अब तो खोलना ही पड़ेगा, अंदर क्या है देखना है मुझे। तो शी ओपनड द बॉक्स एंड सडनली ऑल इविल्स केम आउट, हेट्रेड, वॉर, डिजीज, एवरीथिंग स्टार्टेड फ्लाइंग आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स। डर के उन्होंने फटाफट लिड बंद कर दी, लेकिन इट वॉज टू लेट। ऑलमोस्ट सारी आइटम्स बाहर निकल गई थी एक्सेप्ट वन, एंड दैट आइटम दैट वॉज लेफ्ट वॉज होप। अब यहां पे जो है नैरेटिव दो भागों में चला जाता है। एक ये, लोग ये कहते हैं कि जूस ने होप इसलिए डाली थी कि उनको तरस आ गया मैनकाइंड पे कि यार मैं इतनी सब इविल्स दे रहा हूं, होप तो दूं एटलीस्ट वो लोग उसको साथ में क्या कहते हैं सरवाइव कर सकें। दूसरे लोग कहते हैं कि होप इज ऑल्सो एन इविल, क्योंकि होप आपको सफर कराता रहता है, राइट, आपको छोड़ नहीं पाते वो होप। अच्छा, स्टॉक मार्केट में होप इज ऑलवेज इविल। अगर आप किसी चीज को होप पे बाय करके बैठे हो, दैट इज डेफिनेटली इविल। इसमें होप इज द एंटिसिपेशन ऑफ बीइंग पॉजिटिवली सरप्राइज्ड। थोड़ी देर सोचिएगा, मुझे भी वक्त लगा इसको समझने में। अब आप समझिए, होप इज नॉट एक्सपेक्टेशन। आज चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स वर्सेस आरसीबी है, आई होप आरसीबी जीते, लेकिन ऐसा हो सकता है कि आई एक्सपेक्ट चेन्नई जीतेगी। तो होप एंड एक्सपेक्टेशंस आर डिफरेंट, होप एंड डिजायर्स आर डिफरेंट। Desire can be something which is impossible. Hope is something within the realm of possibility. Hope is not optimism. Optimism is a personality trait. So, lot of people can be optimistic and market में invest करने के लिए थोड़ा optimism चाहिए. But अगर आप optimism एक stock या एक investment के बारे में लेके बैठे हो, तो that is not right. Okay? So, hope is a problem where people keep waiting. बेंजामिन ग्रैम ने एक बार कहा था कि द वर्स्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कम इनटू योर पोर्टफोलियो ड्यूरिंग गुड टाइम्स। वो आ जाते हैं फिर, बट आप उनको पकड़ के रखते हो होप पे कि एक दिन मैं इसको ब्रेक इवन में निकलूंगा या क्या। तो वेन एवर यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग और सो सी टू इट कि आप किसी मिरेकल के लिए वेट ना कर रहे हो, उसमें कुछ रैशनल हो टू होल्ड ऑन टू ऑल्सो। एम आई रनिंग टू लेट ऑन टाइम? 5 minutes? Okay, all right. So I will not be able to go into market biases, but I'll tell you one important bias that people have. आपको याद होगा, in 2001, September 11, 4 planes were taken by terrorists, or 2 of them were crashed into the World Trade Center in the US. It was at that time one of the worst terrorist attacks, and उन प्लेन्स में अराउंड 246 पीपल थे जो मारे गए उसमें, एंड काफ़ी लोग जो इन बिल्डिंग्स में थे उनकी भी डेथ हो गई। तो इट वाज अ बिग इवेंट जहाँ पे बहुत सालों तक पॉलिटिकल और इकोनॉमिक उसके इम्पैक्ट रहे। एक सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट हुआ एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्री को। एयरलाइंस में पीपल स्टॉप ट्रैवलिंग, लोग एयरलाइंस पे भरोसा नहीं करने लगे, एयरलाइंस को अवॉइड करने लगे, एंड दे स्टार्टेड यूजिंग कि मैं लॉन्ग ट्रिप में भी कार में जाऊंगा, मुझे एयरलाइंस में नहीं जाना है। एक जर्मन रिसर्चर ने वो सितंबर 11 के 2-3 साल बाद उन्होंने डेटा कलेक्ट किया, तो एक बहुत स्टार्टलिंग डेटा निकला कि बिकॉज ऑफ दिस इंक्रीज इन रोड ट्रैवल ओवर लॉन्ग डिस्टेंसेस, there was an increase in accidents and death by accidents on the road, and 2 साल में additional 1600 lives गई, which was equal to the number of people that died during that day. अब it is, I'm not trivializing the tragedy, but लोगों ने fear में वो choose किया जो उनको again डेंजर के पास लेके गया। फियर इज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इमोशन, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू कंट्रोल। अब कोई किसी को पूछो कि रिस्क कैसे कैलकुलेट होता है, तो रिस्क तो ऐसे कैलकुलेट होता है कि वैल्यू ऑफ नेगेटिव आउटकम क्या है इनटू प्रोबेबिलिटी, उसको मिला दो तो हो गया आपका रिस्क कैलकुलेट। लेकिन हमें पता है पीपल डोंट कैलकुलेट रिस्क लाइक दिस। उस समय अगर किसी को कहते कि नहीं एयरप्लेन ट्रैवल इज वेरी सेफ, जाओ उसमें, people would not have gone because people go by what they feel rather than what they calculate in risk. Ab fear is again an important deterrent when it comes to investment. काफी लोग जिन्होंने अभी अगर इक्विटी मार्केट में क्रैश देखा है वो इक्विटी मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट ही नहीं करते। अच्छा, उनको ये लगता है कि इक्विटी मार्केट से अगर वो बाहर रहे तो सेफ होगा। दे गो इनटू से बैंक डिपॉजिट्स और समथिंग जहां पे इन्फ्लेशन धीरे धीरे उतना ही पैसा खा जाता है उनके सेविंग्स में से। सो अगेन फियर इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट इमोशन दैट जनरली इज वेरी कॉमनली फाउंड दैट पीपल हैव, जो उनको नुकसान कराता है। Sorry for the, I have taken too much time, so I'm not going a little any further than this. I will stop here. Should we be taking any questions or anything on? Okay, let me just put something up here. Okay, and if there are any questions, maybe I can take one or two and then maybe stop. No? Perfect. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for your valuable insights, sir. I would now request Mr. Rahul Khandekar, Mr. Swarup Bhatia, and Mr. Girish Pathak to please come upon stage and felicitate Mr. Nimish Chandan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the entire team of Sapient Finserv, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all our distinguished guests for the evening, Mr. D.P. Singh, Mr. Swarup Mohanti, and Mr. Nimish Chandan, who have truly enlightened us with their knowledge, insights, and expertise. I would also like to thank Mr. Neeraj Mantri and his entire team, Dipshika from Guwahati team and Veena from Pune team, who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes, without which this event would have not been possible. Further, I would like to thank the entire team of JW Marriott. I extend a warm and heartfelt thank you to each one of you for gracing this occasion with your presence. We appreciate your unwavering trust, commitment, and support in helping us grow together for the last 14 years. Before we wrap up the session for the evening, there are quick 2-3 announcements to be made. There is a book by the name Dohanomics, which has been translated in Marathi by Amit, has been kept outside. Request you to kindly collect your copies. The second thing is, there is a photo booth which we have kept outside. Request everyone to please make use of that, and please join us for cocktail and dinner. Thank you very much from Sapient Finserv. I would call upon the entire team of Sapient Finserv and Symphonia for a quick photo.